on July the 1st. This after Chelsea lost the FA Cup final at Wembley on Saturday. Antoine Semenyo's delightful back heel giving City the Cup once again. On Sunday, the attention turns to the Premier League with 6 games taking place. Manchester United host Nottingham Forest at 12:30. It's Brentford Palace at 3, along with Everton, Sunderland and Leeds Brighton. Wolves entertain Fulham at 3 as well. While the big game at the bottom as West Ham look for points in their survival battle when they go to Newcastle. That's a 5:30 kickoff. Moving on to golf, Alex Smalley is on 6 under par and leads by 2 shots after the third round of the US PGA Championship, the latest major. A superb 66 left Rory McIlroy 3 shots back after the third round, while Ludwig Aberg and Jon Rahm are 2 shots off the lead heading into the final round. In tennis, Alina Svitolina has won a third Italian Open title, beating Coco Gauff 6-4, 6-7, 6-2, while Yannick Sinner is into his home Italian Open final after a 6-2, 5-7, 6-4 win over Daniil Medvedev. In mixed martial arts, Ronda Rousey submitted Gina Carano inside 15 seconds in their much anticipated comeback fight. The 39-year-old returning to the MMA after 10 years won her 13th of 15 fights via the win coming via an arm bar submission. Meanwhile, UFC CEO Dana White has announced that Conor McGregor is to return for a rematch against Max Holloway in the UFC 329 main event on July the 11th in Las Vegas. Well, finally, in the Betfred Super League, Toby King scored 2 tries as Warrington Wolves won 24-16 at Toulouse, while Hull KR held firm to claim a 2016 victory at Lee Leopards. That's all for now. We'll have more later. Latest sports news on Sunday. I'm Aidan Perkins. We'll start with football. And just a day after losing the FA Cup final to Manchester City 1-0 at Wembley, Chelsea are closing in on the appointment of Xabi Alonso as their new manager. The appointment of the former Real Madrid and Bayer Leverkusen boss is expected to come in the next few days, and he's set to be unveiled in pre-season with his contract set to begin on July the 1st. This after Chelsea lost the FA Cup final at Wembley on Saturday. Antoine Semenyo's delightful back heel giving City the Cup once again. On Sunday, the attention turns to the Premier League with 6 games taking place. Manchester United host Nottingham Forest at 12:30. It's Brentford Palace at 3, along with Everton, Sunderland and Leeds Brighton. Wolves entertain Fulham at 3 as well, while the big game at the bottom as West Ham look for points in their survival battle when they go to Newcastle. That's a 5:30 kickoff. Moving on to golf, Alex Smalley is on 6 under par and leads by 2 shots after the third round of the US PGA Championship, the latest major. A superb 66 left Rory McIlroy 3 shots back after the third round, while Ludwig Aberg and Jon Rahm are 2 shots off the lead heading into the final round. In tennis, Alina Svitolina has won a third Italian Open title, beating Coco Gauff 6-4, 6-7, 6-2, while Yannick Sinner is into his home Italian Open final after a 6-2, 5-7, 6-4 win over Daniil Medvedev. In mixed martial arts, Ronda Rousey submitted Gina Carano inside 15 seconds in their much anticipated comeback fight. The 39-year-old returning to the MMA after 10 years won her 13th of 15 fights via the win coming via an arm bar submission. Meanwhile, UFC CEO Dana White has announced that Conor McGregor is to return for a rematch against Max Holloway in the UFC 329 main event on July the 11th in Las Vegas. Well, finally, in the Betfred Super League, Toby King scored 2 tries as Warrington Wolves won 24-16 at Toulouse, while Hull KR held firm to claim a 2016 victory at Lee Leopards. That's all for now. We'll have more later. Latest sports news on Sunday. I'm Aidan Perkins. We'll start with football. And just a day after losing the FA Cup final to Manchester City 1-0 at Wembley, Chelsea are closing in on the appointment of Xabi Alonso as their new manager. The appointment of the former Real Madrid and Bayer Leverkusen boss is expected to come in the next few days, and he's set to be unveiled in pre-season with his contract set to begin on July the 1st. This after Chelsea lost the FA Cup final at Wembley on Saturday. Antoine Semenyo's delightful back heel giving City the cup once again. On Sunday, the attention turns to the Premier League with 6 games taking place. Manchester United host Nottingham Forest at 12:30. It's Brentford Palace at 3, along with Everton, Sunderland and Leeds Brighton. Wolves entertain Fulham at 3 as well. While the big game at the bottom as West Ham look for points in their survival battle when they go to Newcastle. That's a 5:30 kickoff. Moving on to golf, Alex Smalley is on 6 under par and leads by 2 shots after the third round of the US PGA Championship, the latest major. A superb 66 left Rory McIlroy 3 shots back after the third round, while Ludwig Aberg and John Rahm are 2 shots off the lead heading into the final round. In tennis, Alina Svitolina has won a third Italian Open title, beating Coco Gauff 6-4, 6-7, 6-2, while Yannick Sinner is into his home Italian Open final after a 6-2, 5-7, 6-4 win over Daniil Medvedev. In mixed martial arts, Ronda Rousey submitted Gina Carano inside 15 seconds in their much anticipated comeback fight. The 39-year-old returning to the MMA after 10 years won her 13th of 15 fights via the win coming via an arm bar submission. Meanwhile, UFC CEO Dana White has announced that Conor McGregor is to return for a rematch against Max Holloway in the UFC 329 main event on July the 11th in Las Vegas. Well, finally, in the Betfred Super League, Toby King scored 2 tries as Warrington Wolves won 24-16 at Toulouse, while Hull KR held firm to claim a 2016 victory at Lee Leopards. That's all for now. We'll have more later. Latest sports news on Sunday. I'm Aidan Perkins. We'll start with football. And just a day after losing the FA Cup final to Manchester City 1-0 at Wembley, Chelsea are closing in on the appointment of Xabi Alonso as their new manager. The appointment of the former Real Madrid and Bayer Leverkusen boss is expected to come in the next few days, and he's set to be unveiled in pre-season with his contract set to begin on July the 1st. This after Chelsea lost the FA Cup final at Wembley on Saturday. Antoine Semenyo's delightful back heel giving City the cup once again. On Sunday, the attention turns to the Premier League with 6 games taking place. Manchester United host Nottingham Forest at 12:30. It's Brentford Palace at 3, along with Everton, Sunderland and Leeds Brighton. Wolves entertain Fulham at 3 as well. While the big game at the bottom as West Ham look for points in their survival battle when they go to Newcastle. That's a 5:30 kickoff. Moving on to golf, Alex Smalley is on 6 under par and leads by 2 shots after the third round of the US PGA Championship, the latest major. A superb 66 left Rory McIlroy 3 shots back after the third round, while Ludwig Aberg and John Rahm are 2 shots off the lead heading into the final round. In tennis, Alina Svitolina has won a third Italian Open title, beating Coco Gauff 6-4, 6-7, 6-2, while Yannick Sinner is into his home Italian Open final after a 6-2, 5-7, 6-4 win over Daniil Medvedev. In mixed martial arts, Ronda Rousey submitted Gina Carano inside 15 seconds in their much anticipated comeback fight. The 39-year-old returning to the MMA after 10 years won her 13th of 15 fights via the win coming via an arm bar submission. Meanwhile, UFC CEO Dana White has announced that Conor McGregor is to return for a rematch against Max Holloway in the UFC 329 main event on July the 11th in Las Vegas. Well, finally, in the Betfred Super League, Toby King scored 2 tries as Warrington Wolves won 24-16 at Toulouse, while Hull KR held firm to claim a 2016 victory at Lee Leopards. That's all for now. We'll have more later. Latest sports news on Sunday. I'm Aidan Perkins. We'll start with football. And just a day after losing the FA Cup final to Manchester City 1-0 at Wembley, Chelsea are closing in on the appointment of Xabi Alonso as their new manager. The appointment of the former Real Madrid and Bayer Leverkusen boss is expected to come in the next few days, and he's set to be unveiled in pre-season with his contract set to begin on July the 1st. This after Chelsea lost the FA Cup final at Wembley on Saturday. Antoine Semenyo's delightful back heel giving City the cup once again. On Sunday, the attention turns to the Premier League with 6 games taking place. Manchester United host Nottingham Forest at 12:30. It's Brentford Palace at 3, along with Everton, Sunderland and Leeds Brighton. Wolves entertain Fulham at 3 as well. While the big game at the bottom as West Ham look for points in their survival battle when they go to Newcastle. That's a 5:30 kickoff. Moving on to golf, Alex Smalley is on 6 under par and leads by 2 shots after the third round of the US PGA Championship, the latest major. A superb 66 left Rory McIlroy 3 shots back after the third round, while Ludwig Aberg and Jon Rahm are 2 shots off the lead heading into the final round. In tennis, Alina Svitolina has won a third Italian Open title, beating Coco Gauff 6-4, 6-7, 6-2, while Yannick Sinner is into his home Italian Open final after a 6-2, 5-7, 6-4 win over Daniil Medvedev. In mixed martial arts, Ronda Rousey submitted Gina Carano inside 15 seconds in their much anticipated comeback fight. The 39-year-old returning to the MMA after 10 years won her 13th of 15 fights via the win coming via an arm bar submission. Meanwhile, UFC CEO Dana White has announced that Conor McGregor is to return for a rematch against Max Holloway in the UFC 329 main event on July the 11th in Las Vegas. Well, finally, in the Betfred Super League, Toby King scored 2 tries as Warrington Wolves won 24-16 at Toulouse, while Hull KR held firm to claim a 2016 victory at Lee Leopards. That's all for now. We'll have more later. Latest sports news on Sunday. I'm Aidan Perkins. We'll start with football. And just a day after losing the FA Cup final to Manchester City 1-0 at Wembley, Chelsea are closing in on the appointment of Xabi Alonso as their new manager. The appointment of the former Real Madrid and Bayer Leverkusen boss is expected to come in the next few days, and he's set to be unveiled in pre-season with his contract set to begin on July the 1st. This after Chelsea lost the FA Cup final at Wembley on Saturday. Antoine Semenyo's delightful back heel giving City the cup once again. On Sunday, the attention turns to the Premier League with 6 games taking place. Manchester United host Nottingham Forest at 12:30. It's Brentford Palace at 3, along with Everton, Sunderland and Leeds Brighton. Wolves entertain Fulham at 3 as well, while the big game at the bottom as West Ham look for points in their survival battle when they go to Newcastle. That's a 5:30 kickoff. Moving on to golf, Alex Smalley is on 6 under par and leads by 2 shots after the third round of the US PGA Championship, the latest major. A superb 66 left Rory McIlroy 3 shots back after the third round, while Ludwig Aberg and Jon Rahm are 2 shots off the lead heading into the final round. In tennis, Alina Svitolina has won a third Italian Open title, beating Coco Gauff 6-4, 6-7, 6-2, while Yannick Sinner is into his home Italian Open final after a 6-2, 5-7, 6-4 win over Daniil Medvedev. In mixed martial arts, Ronda Rousey submitted Gina Carano inside 15 seconds in their much anticipated comeback fight. The 39-year-old returning to the MMA after 10 years won her 13th of 15 fights via the win coming via an arm bar submission. Meanwhile, UFC CEO Dana White has announced that Conor McGregor is to return for a rematch against Max Holloway in the UFC 329 main event on July the 11th in Las Vegas. Well, finally, in the Betfred Super League, Toby King scored 2 tries as Warrington Wolves won 24-16 at Toulouse, while Hull KR held firm to claim a 2016 victory at Lee Leopards. That's all for now. We'll have more later. Latest sports news on Sunday. I'm Aidan Perkins. We'll start with football. And just a day after losing the FA Cup final to Manchester City 1-0 at Wembley, Chelsea are closing in on the appointment of Xabi Alonso as their new manager. The appointment of the former Real Madrid and Bayer Leverkusen boss is expected to come in the next few days, and he's set to be unveiled in pre-season with his contract set to begin on July the 1st. This after Chelsea lost the FA Cup final at Wembley on Saturday. Antoine Semenyo's delightful back heel giving City the cup once again. On Sunday, the attention turns to the Premier League with 6 games taking place. Manchester United host Nottingham Forest at 12:30. It's Brentford Palace at 3, along with Everton, Sunderland and Leeds Brighton. Wolves entertain Fulham at 3 as well. While the big game at the bottom as West Ham look for points in their survival battle when they go to Newcastle. That's a 5:30 kickoff. Moving on to golf, Alex Smalley is on 6 under par and leads by 2 shots after the third round of the US PGA Championship, the latest major. A superb 66 left Rory McIlroy 3 shots back after the third round, while Ludwig Aberg and John Rahm are 2 shots off the lead heading into the final round. In tennis, Alina Svitolina has won a third Italian Open title, beating Coco Gauff 6-4, 6-7, 6-2, while Yannick Sinner is into his home Italian Open final after a 6-2, 5-7, 6-4 win over Daniil Medvedev. In mixed martial arts, Ronda Rousey submitted Gina Carano inside 15 seconds in their much anticipated comeback fight. The 39-year-old returning to the MMA after 10 years won her 13th of 15 fights via the win coming via an arm bar submission. Meanwhile, UFC CEO Dana White has announced that Conor McGregor is to return for a rematch against Max Holloway in the UFC 329 main event on July the 11th in Las Vegas. Well, finally, in the Betfred Super League, Toby King scored 2 tries as Warrington Wolves won 24-16 at Toulouse, while Hull KR held firm to claim a 2016 victory at Lee Leopards. That's all for now. We'll have more later. Latest sports news on Sunday. I'm Aidan Perkins. We'll start with football. And just a day after losing the FA Cup final to Manchester City 1-0 at Wembley, Chelsea are closing in on the appointment of Xabi Alonso as their new manager. The appointment of the former Real Madrid and Bayer Leverkusen boss is expected to come in the next few days, and he's set to be unveiled in pre-season with his contract set to begin on July the 1st. This after Chelsea lost the FA Cup final at Wembley on Saturday. Antoine Semenyo's delightful back heel giving City the cup once again. On Sunday, the attention turns to the Premier League with 6 games taking place. Manchester United host Nottingham Forest at 12:30. It's Brentford Palace at 3, along with Everton, Sunderland and Leeds Brighton. Wolves entertain Fulham at 3 as well, while the big game at the bottom as West Ham look for points in their survival battle when they go to Newcastle. That's a 5:30 kickoff. Moving on to golf, Alex Smalley is on 6 under par and leads by 2 shots after the third round of the US PGA Championship, the latest major. A superb 66 left Rory McIlroy 3 shots back after the third round, while Ludwig Aberg and John Rahm are 2 shots off the lead heading into the final round. In tennis, Alina Svitolina has won a third Italian Open title, beating Coco Gauff 6-4, 6-7, 6-2, while Yannick Sinner is into his home Italian Open final after a 6-2, 5-7, 6-4 win over Daniil Medvedev. In mixed martial arts, Ronda Rousey submitted Gina Carano inside 15 seconds in their much anticipated comeback fight. The 39-year-old returning to the MMA after 10 years won her 13th of 15 fights via the win coming via an arm bar submission. Meanwhile, UFC CEO Dana White has announced that Conor McGregor is to return for a rematch against Max Holloway in the UFC 329 main event on July the 11th in Las Vegas. Well, finally, in the Betfred Super League, Toby King scored 2 tries as Warrington Wolves won 24-16 at Toulouse, while Hull KR held firm to claim a 2016 victory at Lee Leopards. That's all for now. We'll have more later. Latest sports news on Sunday. I'm Aidan Perkins. We'll start with football. And just a day after losing the FA Cup final to Manchester City 1-0 at Wembley, Chelsea are closing in on the appointment of Xabi Alonso as their new manager. The appointment of the former Real Madrid and Bayer Leverkusen boss is expected to come in the next few days, and he's set to be unveiled in pre-season with his contract set to begin on July the 1st. This after Chelsea lost the FA Cup final at Wembley on Saturday. Antoine Semenyo's delightful back heel, giving City the cup once again. On Sunday, the attention turns to the Premier League with 6 games taking place. Manchester United host Nottingham Forest at 12:30. It's Brentford Palace at 3, along with Everton, Sunderland and Leeds Brighton. Wolves entertain Fulham at 3 as well. While the big game at the bottom as West Ham look for points in their survival battle when they go to Newcastle. That's a 5:30 kickoff. Moving on to golf, Alex Smalley is on 6 under par and leads by 2 shots after the third round of the US PGA Championship, the latest major. A superb 66 left Rory McIlroy 3 shots back after the third round, while Ludwig Aberg and Jon Rahm are 2 shots off the lead heading into the final round. In tennis, Alina Svitolina has won a third Italian Open title, beating Coco Gauff 6-4, 6-7, 6-2, while Yannick Sinner is into his home Italian Open final after a 6-2, 5-7, 6-4 win over Daniil Medvedev. In mixed martial arts, Ronda Rousey submitted Gina Carano inside 15 seconds in their much anticipated comeback fight. The 39-year-old returning to the MMA after 10 years, won her 13th of 15 fights via the win coming via an arm bar submission. Meanwhile, UFC CEO Dana White has announced that Conor McGregor is to return for a rematch against Max Holloway in the UFC 329 main event on July the 11th in Las Vegas. Well, finally, in the Betfred Super League, Toby King scored 2 tries as Warrington Wolves won 24-16 at Toulouse, while Hull KR held firm to claim a 2016 victory at Lee Leopards. That's all for now. We'll have more later. Latest sports news on Sunday. I'm Aidan Perkins. We'll start with football. And just a day after losing the FA Cup final to Manchester City 1-0 at Wembley, Chelsea are closing in on the appointment of Xabi Alonso as their new manager. The appointment of the former Real Madrid and Bayer Leverkusen boss is expected to come in the next few days, and he's set to be unveiled in pre-season with his contract set to begin on July the 1st. This after Chelsea lost the FA Cup final at Wembley on Saturday. Antoine Semenyo's delightful back heel, giving City the cup once again. On Sunday, the attention turns to the Premier League with 6 games taking place. Manchester United host Nottingham Forest at 12:30. It's Brentford Palace at 3, along with Everton, Sunderland and Leeds Brighton. Wolves entertain Fulham at 3 as well. While the big game at the bottom as West Ham look for points in their survival battle when they go to Newcastle. That's a 5:30 kickoff. Moving on to golf, Alex Smalley is on 6 under par and leads by 2 shots after the third round of the US PGA Championship, the latest major. A superb 66 left Rory McIlroy 3 shots back after the third round, while Ludwig Aberg and Jon Rahm are 2 shots off the lead heading into the final round. In tennis, Alina Svitolina has won a third Italian Open title, beating Coco Gauff 6-4, 6-7, 6-2, while Yannick Sinner is into his home Italian Open final after a 6-2, 5-7, 6-4 win over Daniil Medvedev. In mixed martial arts, Ronda Rousey submitted Gina Carano inside 15 seconds in their much anticipated comeback fight. The 39-year-old returning to the MMA after 10 years, won her 13th of 15 fights via the win coming via an arm bar submission. Meanwhile, UFC CEO Dana White has announced that Conor McGregor is to return for a rematch against Max Holloway in the UFC 329 main event on July the 11th in Las Vegas. Well, finally, in the Betfred Super League, Toby King scored 2 tries as Warrington Wolves won 24-16 at Toulouse, while Hull KR held firm to claim a 2016 victory at Lee Leopards. That's all for now. We'll have more later. Latest sports news on Sunday. I'm Aidan Perkins. We'll start with football. And just a day after losing the FA Cup final to Manchester City 1-0 at Wembley, Chelsea are closing in on the appointment of Xabi Alonso as their new manager. The appointment of the former Real Madrid and Bayer Leverkusen boss is expected to come in the next few days, and he's set to be unveiled in pre-season with his contract set to begin on July the 1st. This after Chelsea lost the FA Cup final at Wembley on Saturday. Antoine Semenyo's delightful back heel giving City the cup once again. On Sunday, the attention turns to the Premier League with 6 games taking place. Manchester United host Nottingham Forest at 12:30. It's Brentford Palace at 3, along with Everton, Sunderland and Leeds Brighton. Wolves entertain Fulham at 3 as well. While the big game at the bottom as West Ham look for points in their survival battle when they go to Newcastle. That's a 5:30 kickoff. Moving on to golf, Alex Smalley is on 6 under par and leads by 2 shots after the third round of the US PGA Championship, the latest major. A superb 66 left Rory McIlroy 3 shots back after the third round, while Ludwig Aberg and John Rahm are 2 shots off the lead heading into the final round. In tennis, Alina Svitolina has won a third Italian Open title, beating Coco Gauff 6-4, 6-7, 6-2, while Yannick Sinner is into his home Italian Open final after a 6-2, 5-7, 6-4 win over Daniil Medvedev. In mixed martial arts, Ronda Rousey submitted Gina Carano inside 15 seconds in their much anticipated comeback fight. The 39-year-old returning to the MMA after 10 years, won her 13th of 15 fights via the win coming via an arm bar submission. Meanwhile, UFC CEO Dana White has announced that Conor McGregor is to return for a rematch against Max Holloway in the UFC 329 main event on July the 11th in Las Vegas. Well, finally, in the Betfred Super League, Toby King scored 2 tries as Warrington Wolves won 24-16 at Toulouse, while Hull KR held firm to claim a 2016 victory at Lee Leopards. That's all for now. We'll have more later. Latest sports news on Sunday. I'm Aidan Perkins. We'll start with football. And just a day after losing the FA Cup final to Manchester City 1-0 at Wembley, Chelsea are closing in on the appointment of Xabi Alonso as their new manager. The appointment of the former Real Madrid and Bayer Leverkusen boss is expected to come in the next few days, and he's set to be unveiled in pre-season with his contract set to begin on July the 1st. This after Chelsea lost the FA Cup final at Wembley on Saturday. Antoine Semenyo's delightful back heel giving City the cup once again. On Sunday, the attention turns to the Premier League with 6 games taking place. Manchester United host Nottingham Forest at 12:30. It's Brentford Palace at 3, along with Everton, Sunderland and Leeds Brighton. Wolves entertain Fulham at 3 as well. While the big game at the bottom as West Ham look for points in their survival battle when they go to Newcastle. That's a 5:30 kickoff. Moving on to golf, Alex Smalley is on 6 under par and leads by 2 shots after the third round of the US PGA Championship, the latest major. A superb 66 left Rory McIlroy 3 shots back after the third round, while Ludwig Aberg and John Rahm are 2 shots off the lead heading into the final round. In tennis, Alina Svitolina has won a third Italian Open title, beating Coco Gauff 6-4, 6-7, 6-2, while Yannick Sinner is into his home Italian Open final after a 6-2, 5-7, 6-4 win over Daniil Medvedev. In mixed martial arts, Ronda Rousey submitted Gina Carano inside 15 seconds in their much anticipated comeback fight. The 39-year-old returning to the MMA after 10 years, won her 13th of 15 fights via the win coming via an arm bar submission. Meanwhile, UFC CEO Dana White has announced that Conor McGregor is to return for a rematch against Max Holloway in the UFC 329 main event on July the 11th in Las Vegas. Well, finally, in the Betfred Super League, Toby King scored 2 tries as Warrington Wolves won 24-16 at Toulouse, while Hull KR held firm to claim a 2016 victory at Lee Leopards. That's all for now. We'll have more later. Latest sports news on Sunday. I'm Aidan Perkins. We'll start with football. And just a day after losing the FA Cup final to Manchester City 1-0 at Wembley, Chelsea are closing in on the appointment of Xabi Alonso as their new manager. The appointment of the former Real Madrid and Bayer Leverkusen boss is expected to come in the next few days, and he's set to be unveiled in pre-season with his contract set to begin on July the 1st. This after Chelsea lost the FA Cup final at Wembley on Saturday. Antoine Semenyo's delightful back heel giving City the Cup once again. On Sunday, the attention turns to the Premier League with 6 games taking place. Manchester United host Nottingham Forest at 12:30. It's Brentford Palace at 3, along with Everton, Sunderland and Leeds Brighton. Wolves entertain Fulham at 3 as well. While the big game at the bottom as West Ham look for points in their survival battle when they go to Newcastle. That's a 5:30 kickoff. Moving on to golf, Alex Smalley is on 6 under par and leads by 2 shots after the third round of the US PGA Championship, the latest major. A superb 66 left Rory McIlroy 3 shots back after the third round, while Ludwig Aberg and Jon Rahm are 2 shots off the lead heading into the final round. In tennis, Alina Svitolina has won a third Italian Open title, beating Coco Gauff 6-4, 6-7, 6-2, while Yannick Sinner is into his home Italian Open final after a 6-2, 5-7, 6-4 win over Daniil Medvedev. In mixed martial arts, Ronda Rousey submitted Gina Carano inside 15 seconds in their much anticipated comeback fight. The 39-year-old returning to the MMA after 10 years won her 13th of 15 fights via the win coming via an arm bar submission. Meanwhile, UFC CEO Dana White has announced that Conor McGregor is to return for a rematch against Max Holloway in the UFC 329 main event on July the 11th in Las Vegas. Well, finally, in the Betfred Super League, Toby King scored 2 tries as Warrington Wolves won 24-16 at Toulouse, while Hull KR held firm to claim a 2016 victory at Lee Leopards. That's all for now. We'll have more later. Latest sports news on Sunday. I'm Aidan Perkins. We'll start with football. And just a day after losing the FA Cup final to Manchester City 1-0 at Wembley, Chelsea are closing in on the appointment of Xabi Alonso as their new manager. The appointment of the former Real Madrid and Bayer Leverkusen boss is expected to come in the next few days, and he's set to be unveiled in pre-season with his contract set to begin on July the 1st. This after Chelsea lost the FA Cup final at Wembley on Saturday. Antoine Semenyo's delightful back heel giving City the Cup once again. On Sunday, the attention turns to the Premier League with 6 games taking place. Manchester United host Nottingham Forest at 12:30. It's Brentford Palace at 3, along with Everton, Sunderland and Leeds Brighton. Wolves entertain Fulham at 3 as well, while the big game at the bottom as West Ham look for points in their survival battle when they go to Newcastle. That's a 5:30 kickoff. Moving on to golf, Alex Smalley is on 6 under par and leads by 2 shots after the third round of the US PGA Championship, the latest major. A superb 66 left Rory McIlroy 3 shots back after the third round, while Ludwig Aberg and Jon Rahm are 2 shots off the lead heading into the final round. In tennis, Alina Svitolina has won a third Italian Open title, beating Coco Gauff 6-4, 6-7, 6-2, while Yannick Sinner is into his home Italian Open final after a 6-2, 5-7, 6-4 win over Daniil Medvedev. In mixed martial arts, Ronda Rousey submitted Gina Carano inside 15 seconds in their much anticipated comeback fight. The 39-year-old returning to the MMA after 10 years won her 13th of 15 fights via the win coming via an arm bar submission. Meanwhile, UFC CEO Dana White has announced that Conor McGregor is to return for a rematch against Max Holloway in the UFC 329 main event on July the 11th in Las Vegas. Well, finally, in the Betfred Super League,
Years of fitness worries and troubles, he's finally been able to pick up a good season under his belt as the England international, of course ahead of a probable World Cup call-up. Milenkovic has the ball, clears it off of him, Birmingham, thought it might trickle out for a goal kick, blocks it though and Falls from Rato, ball forward for Wood, knocks it down for Igor Jesus. As what he spoke about there, the battle. Well, Chris Wood was going off of Lisandro Martinez there and already trying to latch on to him. Maguire will probably follow Wood around, and I'm sure Wood will think, no, I want to go off Martinez and win headers that way, because that one was too easy. He brought it down on his chest, but I think from his use, maybe he spoke about like set pieces. Maguire versus Wood, that'll be a real heavyweight battle.
Yeah, you'd assume Maguire will be marking Chris Wood or Casemiro, of course, Man United's two biggest players, but Igor Jesus as well is going to be a big problem for them in the box. I mean, when it comes to free kicks and corners as well, Milenkovic is the most prolific header of the ball. He was brought in, well, to defend set pieces, of course, that was the main reason, but also to be an outlet from an attacking point of view as well. So I think physically Forest might have the edge on Manchester United, but Man United will want the ball on the floor for the vast majority of this match anyway, of course.
Well, at the moment, that's exactly how they have it with Manu. Everyone is inside the Forest half, of course, by Sonny Lamens, but I can imagine he's not on his goal line. Cunha swiftly to Shaw on the left-hand side, puts it back to the Brazilian. Makes an overlapping run. Shaw tries to poke it back to him, but well defended by Forest. Hutchinson will hook it away, looking for Chris Wood. Martinez and Wood once again coming together. Maguire nearly makes a mess of it, but he comes away with the ball. The Argentine not happy because his boots slipped off there, saying that Wood has caught him. Wasn't a foul at all. I think just having a bit of a moan to the referee. Bruno dropping deepest, of course. A lot of eyes on him this afternoon. 2 games to go, of course. This is the last game of the season, but eyeing up that assist record. He's on 19. De Bruyne and Henry, their 20 assist-laden seasons. He's looking to eye that up, so possibly can he get an assist this afternoon? 2 would break it, 1 would level it. Of course, Maguire. Back to Casemiro, very slow and tepid, ball over the top from Casemiro, looking for Fernandes, brings it down to Ahmad on the right hand side, Dolo, overlapping, plays it to the Portuguese, ball into the box, headed away by Morato, only into the edge of the area, back to Fernandes, who loops one into the box, looking for Cunha, it's nodded away, it'll drop for Shaw inside the penalty area, goes for a strike, and what a strike from the fullback. Manchester United get the goal just on the stroke of the 5th minute. It fell kindly for him, he took another touch, no one closed him down. Great strike from the left back. It's been a good start for the Red Devils. They've been the better side, they've been more on the ball. Forest have just looked to hook it away and go long. He's not scored many goals for Manchester United. That is only his 5th in his Red Devils career. Over 320 appearances, and he grabs it. Also his first goal since 22-23. What a goal it was. 5.5 minutes in. It's Manchester United 1, Nottingham Forest 0.
Yeah, well taken by the left back Luke Shaw. Good work initially by Bruno Fernandes. Control pass down to Diallo. Dallo's ball into the box, headed away by Morato, but not confidently. Anderson tried to get another touch on it, but ultimately Forest couldn't get it away. Bruno Fernandes recycled the ball back into the box. Wasn't a terrific cross, certainly by his standards. Headed up, and again, not really away by Neco Williams, I believe it was, the Forest right back. Not the best of headers. And in the end, Mbumo got in Shaw's way from volleying it first time, but only to the advantage of the Manchester United left back, who kept the ball under control really well and just took it. Second chance, kept it low, right in the bottom corner. No chance for Sells. 1-0 Manchester United.
Lovely strike there from the full-back, getting very far forward there. A lot of players were in the Nottingham Forest penalty area, and as you rightfully pointed out, Kieran, they haven't had the greatest of times against Forest recently, especially in the league. Of course, it was a 2-2 draw at the City Ground, and last time at Old Trafford in December 2024, Forest won 3-2. The last time the Red Devils beat the Tricky Trees was a 1-0 win on February 28th in the FA Cup. The last time they beat them in the league was one of the first games of the season in the 23-24 season, where the Red Devils won 3-2. But Forest have got a good recent record against the Red Devils. In the last 10, United have won 6, Forest have won 3, and there's been 1 draw. Elliot Anderson, he's been linked with a whole host of clubs. Will this be one of his last games for the Tricky Trees? Maybe even a preview. He's been linked with Old Trafford, he's been linked with the Etihad, linked with Anfield, the top clubs. He's a top player, he's on the ball once again, fizzes it forward, looking for Chris Wood. Just gets it too much to the left. Wood had already made his run. Maybe if he just dropped back and had a look, I think it easily would have got the ball up. But Maguire under a bit of pressure there. The England defender will punt it long, looking for Ahmad. Trying to win the ball against Anderson. Fouls him, says the referee. Just pulls him back a little bit there, does the Ivorian. And free kick for Nottingham Forest. We'll have to see how they do respond. We'll have to see how the Red Devils respond. Sometimes when Michael Carrick's side have gone 1-0 up. They do sit back a little bit against Liverpool. They scored early and they went on to score 2 goals by the opening 15 minutes. I'm sure they'd love to do that and maybe put this game away nice and early. Morato drives forward, looks to ping one into the feet of Gibbs-White. Too much on it though. And back to the goalkeeper, Lemens it goes. Just over 8 minutes in, if you're joining us, warm welcome. It's independent off-tube studio commentary. Manchester United hosting Forest. And thanks to Luke Shaw's 5th ever goal for the Red Devils, it's United who lead a 1-0. And as I say now, Forest, it's early on, so we can't really say there was a good source material or a sample of it. But Forest have to respond by, I think, at least trying to get forward and trying to get a bit of ball possession.
Yeah, they've not had anything in terms of progressive passages of play really, and no passes or to note in Manchester United's half at all. See Dominguez now trying to get forward the ball, maybe just rushing it slightly off Forest, but they've kept it well for now, albeit still in their own half.
Into the feet of Anderson, pokes it forward, well won by Casemiro, might have just bobbled off his foot there. Menu back to the Brazilian. It's 9 goals this season for the former Real Madrid man, an impressive campaign. A lot of Bruno Fernandes' 19 assists have been thanks to Casemiro nodding them or just putting them in the back of the net. Maguire on the ball and at walking pace at the moment. Forest not really wanting to press too high up the field, at least when the centre-backs have the ball. All the way to the goal scorer Shaw. Into Mbeumo, who's dropping a little bit to the left. He loses it. Now here come Forest. Neco Williams is driving forward. It opens up for him. Tries to go for an attempt at goal, but Maguire tackles him well. And now here come Manchester United. But instead, to slow it down for a second, Mainoo's on the ball. He had Cunha to his left. I thought with Williams driving forward, they might have gone down the left there. Yeah,
potentially. Manchester United just holding on to the ball in their own half at the moment. And yeah, it was a good opportunity by Neco Williams. Harry Maguire utilising the long barrier on that occasion. Not a brilliant work from Neco Williams, maybe a slightly heavy touch, but I think he did well enough. Harry Maguire, Neco Williams, he was running at pace, wasn't he? So to get the ball forward and into the box beyond Maguire might have been tricky. And just see Manchester United recycling the ball back to said defender at the moment.
Martinez, 10 minutes on the clock. The Red Devils lead 1-0. Luke Shaw striking. United still confidently on the ball in possession, of course, with this 3 points, as I say, does more than confirm their place in third place. Aston Villa, of course, a big win against Liverpool only on a Friday evening. Now they're 6 points above Villa, because Villa will be looking forward to that Europa League final in midweek as well. United, they're very much off of second place City, but comfortably third as well. So I'm sure Michael Carrick, who's won 7 of his 8 games in charge at Old Trafford, looking to win 8 out of 9. Be happy with the start. The sun is shining at Old Trafford. United wearing the new kit that was already released, but already wearing it for the start and the end of this season. Back to Sells. Cunha's pressing him down. Milenkovic. Bruno Fernandes trying to press down. Leaves a bit of space for Williams to run into. Cuts it back, and again just being a bit maybe tentative, maybe a bit cautious at Forest at the moment. We'll see. We know how dangerous the Red Devils can be on the counter-attack, and of course what they are missing, Benjamin Sesko of course is out with an injury. It looks like he might miss the end of the season. There's no need for him to play this afternoon or the last game of the season, especially if he might pick up another knock. But what they do lose is that presence up top. The amount of times when he's played have been able to boot it up to him, he's brought it down, brought others in play. Mbeumo offers a different kind of player in that number 9 role. He'll drop a little bit deeper. He's a better runner, maybe in behind. But I do feel that, yes, they're 1-0 up, so I don't want to say that they're playing poorly, the Red Devils, but you can tell they are maybe missing the presence of Sesko.
Yeah, certainly with balls into the box. I mean, he's 6'5" frame. I remember when he first started for Manchester United, it felt like he had a poor record when it came to actually heading balls into the back of the net for Man United, but that's certainly improved, and like I say, he just occupies a centre half or two, being the size that he is. And Mbeumo is a brilliant outlet in terms of getting balls in behind, balls over the top, but not quite the same presence in terms of crossing balls in, of course. But I mean, I think this Manchester United team have proven under Michael Carrick that they can find many different ways of scoring goals, and as mentioned, Sunderland game last week was the first time in 24 matches that they didn't score, so I've no doubt that there'll certainly be more chances to come. But it's Forest going forward at the moment, ball into the box, Chris Wood's touch just over here. It'll be a goal kick for Manchester United.
I mean, you spoke there, especially about some looking at the scorers in the Premier League. There's no real one who stands out. Sesko 11, Mbeumo, Casemiro, Cunha 9, Fernandes with 8. Does drop to Mount on 3 after that, but the top 5 there, as you say, let's just say Sesko gets closer to 20, in that sense. That would drop him off, as you say. It's more that instead of one player impressively getting a lot of the goals, it's been spread around a little bit more this season, of course, hasn't it, as well. And that's just in the league as well, which United haven't played that many games this season. Of course, playing this will be the 37th in the league. As here come Forest, ball into the box. It's a poor one from Hutchinson and picked up by Delors inside the penalty area. Casemiro looks to find a pass. He's forced to go back to Delors. As I was saying, though, of course, it's been such a disappointing season for the Red Devils. Out at the first attempt in the EFL Cup against Grimsby, and then out at the first attempt in the third round of the FA Cup. So the Premier League's been their bread and butter this season. Cunha out to the left to Shaw. Getting far forward, Cunha. Will he cut inside and go for a strike? Instead he plays it back to Fernandes. Casemiro. I'm sure the Old Trafford fans were saying, I can hear it shoot almost in my head. Fizzed into Mbeumo. Forest are deep behind the ball at the moment. Fernandes, edge of the area. He's going to go for a strike. It's a curling effort, but straight at the goalkeeper. And you felt Fernandes almost went, right, you're just going to sit there, Forrest. You're more bothered about closing down the passing lanes. I'll have a pop at goal. It was a curling effort, but curling into the arms of Matt Sells. It's a shot on target for Bruno Fernandes, but nothing more than that.
No, nothing more than that. I wonder if I think he was trying to he wanted to chip the ball towards a far post. I think Diallo was trying to make that little run in behind and maybe get a volley or get a touch at least back across goal. It's Gibbs White with a nice idea to get Forest out, but it's not worked for them. Cunha now might wind up a shot. He does, that's blocked, but Manchester United are keeping the pressure on.
Shaw keeps it alive, back to Cunha, pokes it to Fernandes, edge of the area for Menu. Casemiro, he'll open up and go for a strike. That one's blocked away, but Forest are struggling to get out of their own half, especially at the moment. Poor pass from Menu, Casemiro just has to flick it away, picked up by Chris Wood. He's not got too many supporting characters coming along with him, but he plays it nicely back to Jesus. Hutchinson on the right hand side. He'll want to cut inside on his left and go for goal. He does. It's well read though by Menu. Still has it. Casemiro wins the ball well, and it just comes easily for him there. Fernandes looks to play it long to Mbeumo. He brings it down. There's the Cameroonian. He's stretching to get there. He'll keep it in play, but the attack is slowed down. Back it goes to Ahmad. Cuts inside. Needs some support. Fernandes plays it wide to Casemiro. Tries to keep it alive. It was an awkward ball to bring down. Fernandes has it. And he finds a ball into the box. Turns away from his man Gibbs White. Hello, Fernandes. Looking for a pass. Casemiro, one of the furthest players forward at the moment. Again, Fernandes in that number 10 position. He can drop deep, go left, go right, given the freedom of the team, basically. Menu. Maguire, just over 15 and a half minutes played at Old Trafford. It's Manchester United 1, Nottingham Forest 0. A belter from Luke Shaw, the difference maker here. Diallo takes it past Morato, puts him on his backside, driving into the penalty area, plays it to the edge of the box, but it's behind absolutely everyone. Shaw with a great... I thought he won the ball there. Referee disagrees, and Forest will get the free kick there. Great play from Diallo, but poor ball into the box.
Yeah, really got. He doesn't look like he's trying to pick out a man, does it? I think he's trying to put it to the edge of the box, assuming someone will be there. He's got so much time to find someone. In fact, I think he's looking for Casemiro and just gets it wrong in the end, actually, isn't he? I'm not sure that this is a foul from Luke Shaw, unless he's caught Igor Jesus high on the shin, because that is where the Brazilian forward was holding when he went down. I think the referee might have got that one wrong, but it was falling to the feet of a Forest man anyway, the ball, so not too detrimental to the Manchester United attack. Michael Carrick with 10 wins in 15 since joining Manchester United. I believe he's still Manchester United have accumulated the most points since he took over in the Premier League.
Well, the rumours of a 2-year deal and an option
by the sounds of it, yeah.
Option for a third. I don't know if that's for the his side or United side. And well, I think it's that for me. For you just look at what he's done, I think he deserves the job. And unfortunately for a lot of teams looking for managers, of course, Xabi Alonso has been confirmed as the Chelsea boss as well. With the World Cup, a lot of managers there that would usually maybe be in the running. A Tuchel, a Nagelsmann, Ancelotti's at Brazil. A lot of, for example, Luis Enrique signed a new contract at PSG. A lot of teams looking for new managers. There isn't maybe many out there that stick out compared to previous years. And even if there was, I mean, I'd look at it and look at how he's done a great job at Old Trafford as Michael Carrick. I know a lot of people would say, oh, it reminds me of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, but when they're doing well, they're doing very well. When scoring first in the league this season, United 22 games, they've won 15, drawn 7 and lost 0. So A very good record for the Red Devils when scoring first. Forest, for me, 17.5 minutes in, the 1-0 down. They haven't shown enough for me, but they are a defensive side who like to hit on the counter. I just think in that attack with Wood, Jesus, if you look at the 4-4-2 with Gibbs White on the left and Hutchinson on the right, Hutchinson's a pacey player. I just don't think for the transition that they like to play, I just don't think there's enough pace in that attack as Hutchinson nearly drives through. There's not enough pace as if you have had a Hutchinson or an Elanga or had another couple of players. I'll bring Kieran in a moment. Well held there by Cunha. Is he going to win the ball? He's going to win a goal kick for his side. Great play from the Brazilian there. I just don't think they have the pace that they usually have for Forest.
I think they're missing Hudson-Odoi a little bit on the left as well. I mean, Gibbs White's playing on the left, but he wants to come inside and be the playmaker, be the Bruno Fernandes, if you like, of this Forest side. Doesn't really want to be staying out wide foot. I think that's blatantly obvious. But they have got enough ability. Two strikers, of course, it's tricky nowadays, especially when Man United are going to have Kobbie Mainoo or at least Casemiro sitting in there and staying back and helping the defence. But we'll see how it evolves. So far, Wood and Jesus just haven't linked up at all when the ball's been played forward. I think one of them might have to drop deep. Jesus already doesn't seem to be playing as high up necessarily as to Chris Wood.
No, and I think, as you say, then, if I'm right, this will be the first time they're starting together, so I can imagine the chemistry's a little bit off. That's a poor pass back. Anderson wins it off of Casemiro, and now Forest have a bit of possession. Anderson out to the left-hand side, 2 nets, of course, as well. Got a packed slate of Premier League football, of course, this afternoon. A lot of 3 o'clock kickoffs, 4 to be exact. Brentford, Palace, Everton, Sunderland, Leeds, Brighton and Wolves, Fulham, alongside a big kick-off at 5:30 at the bottom of the table. Newcastle hosting West Ham. You can catch all of those games on this service, as well as the big games tomorrow, of course, Arsenal, Burnley, and the double header with Chelsea and Manchester City in action, not against each other, but of course playing their games following the FA Cup at the weekend. Of course, we've got at 2 o'clock games from Scotland for you, the bottom 6. Dundee FC against Aberdeen, Livingston, Kilmarnock and St Mirren against Dundee United. So keeping you updated on all the action. We'll try our best. Of course, eyes on the Premier League, but those fixtures in Scotland are main ones as well. Anderson has it in the middle. 20 minutes on the clock. It's Manchester United 1 and Nottingham Forest 0. Luke Shaw's 5th goal for Manchester United in the 5th minute, if you will. The difference maker here. Not had too many clear-cut chances since then. Looking at the stats, just a shade under 60% possession the way of the Red Devils. 0.16 XG to 0.0 for Forest, because they haven't even had a shot yet, so no shots on target to boot, whereas the Red Devils 4 shots and 2 on target. Hutchinson turns Mainoo well, tries to play it into the feet, but he'll find Morgan Gibbs White 1-on-1. What a save by Senny Lamens there. They can't get it out, no, they will now. Cunha into Mainoo, trying to build up Fernandes, lovely back heel. Here come the Red Devils on a counter-attack. Will they make Forest pay after not scoring that 1-on-1? Cunha has got Fernandes to his left, plays it through to Mbeumo, takes it past the goalkeeper, off the post. United still coming forward. Cunha into Fernandes, tries to put it into the box for Diallo. Casemiro running onto it, pokes it wide. What a chance that was. Mbeumo forced, he took it past the keeper wall, forced a little bit wide. Massive chance for Gibbs White. United nearly made the tricky trees pay. It was a lovely ball in the middle. I mean, was he offside?
Yeah,
he's just offside, maybe Gibbs White. I think Hutchinson's trying to find Wood anyway, if I'm being honest. Great save from Lamens. Should United have scored and made them pay, though?
Yeah, I mean, well, firstly, Gibbs White should be putting that away, offside or not. It would have obviously been reviewed. And then Cunha, he doesn't make his mind up. I'm not I can't work out if the run from Diallo isn't good enough on the left-hand side. That was looked like the most obvious option for Cunha. In the end, he plays a really good ball, and then it's nicely chipped back in by the Man United winger as well into the box. But no, it just wouldn't happen. I think it might have been Mainoo actually on that left-hand side who was the option. Still trying to come forward. Mainoo, Dallo with a bit of space now. Gibbs White applying pressure.
Diallo picks it up on the right-hand side. Well tackled there by the left-back next, but what a bit of a sequence there. The game's in a bit of a lull for the last maybe 5 minutes or so, but that's really ups it up now. Poor pass from Gibbs White, picked up by Shaw. It'll fall kindly for Mbeumo. Back to Fernandes. He's got Cunha in behind him. He still drives into the penalty area. He doesn't know where he's going, does the skipper. Needs some help and some support. He's got Shaw in behind him, tries to poke it off of Hutchinson. Williams will poke it off of Fernandez. Very similar to what you said about Cunha there. Maybe just not making his mind up, Fernandez. Could have played it to Shaw. Could have played it back to Cunha with a back heel. Watching back in Burmu's opportunity. I think Sells does extremely well to push in Burmu as far as he can. It still is quite wide, but I think he should be at least getting it on target. And look, Milenkovic is on the line. If he blocks it, fair enough. But in Burmu, just doesn't get over it enough, unfortunately.
Yeah, but he has to rush it in the end because he knows that by the time he's taken that many touches around the keeper, there's going to be defenders getting back. I mean, I think it would have been blocked on the line anyway. He's slightly off balance. Obviously, you want that to go on target, to say the least. But I think at this stage of the season, and with Manchester United 1-0 up, it's not going to be detrimental. But I think he'll be disappointed in himself more than anyone else, I imagine.
No, I'd agree with that. Hutchinson has the ball and plays it back to Anderson. Forest just have possession. Looking in Birmingham this season, his first 20 appearances, 9 goals. His last 11, 0 goals. So, unfortunately, started the season quite well. It was very weird. For example, Sk and Cunha took a while to get going, and in Birmingham and Fernandez were the carriers. And then in Birmingham was fallen off, and it was Sk and Cunha come picked up where he left. Here come Forrest, ball into the box. It's headed away by Martinez. It was almost a shot, but it was a cross. But how the technique from Jesus was quite nice there on the right-hand side. I first of all, going for goal, but it was a beautiful ball forward, headed out for a corner. This is where Forest can be dangerous. We have just hit over halfway through this first half, though. If you're joining, warm welcome. It's independent off-tube studio commentary. It's Manchester United 1, Nottingham Forest 0, and I'll pass you over to Kieran to take us through to half-time.
Cheers, Lewis. Yeah, like you said, Igor Jesus hit that cross like a shot. A lot of power, a lot of dip. Had it have gone, had Martinez not intervened, it would have found the feet of Chris Wood. Short corner taken by Hutchinson to Anderson. Hutchinson has it back, looking to dance away from Diallo, who does have a defensive experience, of course, playing as a wing back under Amorim. Anderson into the box. Jesus couldn't quite control, and Martinez clears the ball forward. Nets is back to collect from his goalkeeper Sells. Excuse me, and Anderson will collect the ball on halfway. Very much their controller, if you like, their Perlo. That's a lovely ball through, looking for Neco Williams. Luke Shaw's going to get there first. Took his time with it, did Luke Shaw, and in the end makes a sliding challenge, which sees the Welsh right back fall to the floor. No injury though, he's back up and to it. Manchester United played nicely in tight areas to get it away. Bruno Fernandes dispossessed by his fellow number 8 in Elliot Anderson, who's done well to get away from Casemiro. Now ball over to Gibbs White, who can put a good ball into the box. That's really well blocked by Casemiro. Also almost had his foot at head height to block that cross. Anderson then forced back by Dalot. Nets. It's a good bit of possession for Forest at the moment. Dominguez, well controlled by Igor Jesus, who certainly is dropping deep. He's almost playing as the number 10. Jesus, more sort of dropping deep from higher up the pitch when Forest are coming forward. He wants to play on the shoulder, I think. He's forcing Mainu back, because Manchester United looking a bit more of like a flat 5, and Forest are pressing like this. Anderson, maybe a chance to shoot. He does get the shot off, blocked by Casemiro though, so it'll be another Forest corner.
I think most people that have torn a hamstring doing what Casemiro just did, as you said, they're frustrating. So it was a great block. But you're right, it's almost, you're spot on when defending almost in Burmu or Ahmad drop into a right wing back, if you will, and add a little bit more as well on the transition to get forward. So it is sitting back, almost resting, and then going, isn't it? And look, I can imagine if it was 0-0, United be a bit more aggressive in the press defensively. But you're 1-0 up, you're almost asking for it. Look, we're happy to hit on the transition. You come forward, see what you've got, and then we'll hit you on a counter.
Anderson's going to take this one from the left-hand side. So again, it would be an in-swinger. Look like he might want to take it Shaw. Like I say, they've got physical presence in there. It's to the back post. Luke Shaw has to get a nick on it to prevent Chris Wood from getting to it. Then a battle between the two number 19s as Mbumo goes over to make sure Amari Hutchinson doesn't have an easy opportunity to cross. Yeah, Chris Wood didn't look too interested in that. It was almost as if he was waiting for it to come and hit him without jumping. Shaw got up well for it. Neco Williams is over to take the throw in for Forest. Does have a long throw in him. This one's certainly going to go short. There is still 4 Forest players in the box, including Milenkovic. Now down and at the feet of Hutchinson. Ball into the box. Header is on towards It looked towards goal by Milenkovic, but it wasn't on target. Definitely a shot. Now cleared by Dallow. Forest getting their shot count up. I believe they're on 3 or 4 now. Still only troubled Lamens once. And a lot of them not even going out for goal kicks either. They are earning corners. The 2 of late in the last 5 minutes. Certainly grown into the game.
Yeah, they have. And again, as I say, I don't know if that's because United are 1-0 up and happy to sit back because they know they can hit on the transition. But the more you let Forest get in the game, the more worrying it would be that then they go and get an equaliser, and then the game is interesting, and United have to respond. I think, again, Hutchinson, for me, just because you see it all the time, he's a left-footed right winger. Lovely ball here, though. Forward, Forest coming forward.
Yeah, Net's trying to play it in first time, sees the ball go all the way out of the box. Casemiro then tumbles to the ground after an aerial battle with Igor Jesus. The Brazilian forward didn't jump, and yeah, you can see him. He's looking at Casemiro. I think he knows what he's doing. It means that when Casemiro jumps, he gets wiped out slightly by his fellow Brazilian. So simple free kick, nothing more. For Manchester United to take inside their own half, just being told to go backwards, so Lamens will take this just on the edge of the Manchester United box. Maguire back to the Belgian shot stopper, forward to Mainu. That was loose. Anderson might have got in there. Is it a foul? It was a foul on Mainu. Mainu did well to make sure he got the first touch on the ball. Bit of a loose one from Lamens, which isn't necessarily, or certainly isn't characteristic of him. I think we saw it once a couple of games ago. But yeah, Mainu just making sure he got his body in between the ball and Anderson there.
He just almost bailed him out of jail a little bit there, didn't he? Was it the Liverpool game? We played a poor pass and Liverpool scored from it. It's one of them where I feel for goalkeepers like that because it's not his strength, yeah. But when teams want to play out from the back line, you do have to, I think, accept a little bit that keepers are going to make mistakes, centre-backs are going to make mistakes. It was great play from Mainu to take it away from his man, but it's one of them, isn't it? If that goes into Mainu, he takes it away from Anderson, you've beat the press and you've got a counter, so it's a risk versus reward, and that's how United and Michael Carrick want to play. So you've got to accept that, look, mistakes are going to be made, you're going to commit fouls from it, you're going to lose the ball high up the field, but sometimes it works and sometimes you're going to score a lot of goals from it. Crossfield
ball to Dallow, and Mbumo, the striker for Manchester United, has dropped deep to get on the ball. They have absolutely no one in the middle. Diallo now, and Mbumo has resumed his position up top. Casemiro with a bit of space on the right hand side, not yet in the attacking third though. 1-2 with Maguire. Now Diallo, nice play between those two. Casemiro on it again up against Anderson. Good work from Dallow to keep it alive and prevent Gibbs White from winning the ball. Forest captain clearly getting a little frustrated now as Manchester United keep the ball really well. Every Forest man behind the ball now as Martinez gets it on the edge of the centre circle, tries to get forward, brilliant feet to get away from Hutchinson. Now Bruno Fernandes on the edge of the box, takes his shot over and wide.
Yeah, just tries to get, he gets underneath it so much, doesn't he? Great feet from Martinez, as you said there, but Fernandes, again, I think they're more worried of Forest right there. I know he's been closed down a little bit by Dominguez, but they're more worried about is Fernandes going to pick out a pass and is he going to score right now? So they were quite happy for him to go for goal. Look, he's put his hand in the top corner many a times. I think it's just more they're thinking, is he going to pick out Mbeumo, Ahmad? Who's he going to pick out? Looking at the course, it's going to be brought up so many times by the broadcasters. Most assists, De Bruyne 20, 19, 20, or 3, or 2 or 3 with Henry with 20. He's one off it, so he's looking for it, and I think if anything, Forrest are going, he wants to pass more than shoot, so we'd rather let him have a strike at goal than play it through to a teammate. Yeah, potentially. I'm not sure if he's overthinking it. He seems to have 2 t-shirts on as well. Has his short sleeve top and long sleeves coming out underneath it. Kobbie Mainoo sporting the long sleeve version of this new kit, as is Cunha. There's a few Manchester United players actually do prefer the arms to be covered. Now ball forward for Nets, who's into almost a number 10 position, the left back. Chris Wood's deep, but plays it over to Hutchinson on the right hand side. He's doubled up on with Cunha helping out. Ball into the box from Neco Williams, goes over the head of Dallow. And Gibbs White trying to get past the Manchester United right back. Has that gone out for a goal kick? I think it's been given against the Portuguese defender. The referee, I'm trying to work out what the referee's given here actually. Let's take a look. I think he's given a foul on Gibbs White. I mean, he is late, Dallow. He doesn't get the ball. Gibbs White
could argue makes the most of it, but I think it's a fair decision.
No, I think you're right. It should, if it was out of play, it should have been a goal kick,
yeah.
and I think the tackle happens after the ball's gone out of play, if I'm honest, but it is a free kick in that sense. So this is dangerous. It's one of them where you've got to get this right, because you can't really fizz it into the box. I mean, you could really, and hope it just bobbles off of someone in the back of the net. This would be a good opportunity, but an awkward one for Anderson.
Yeah, it's a yard off the edge of the box, right next to the byline. So it's a short corner, if you like, for Anderson to take. One-man wall in Diallo. Again, it's one of those, you can't get too much power on it. He has hit it with pace, though, towards the front post. Dominguez making that run, but it went straight over the bar, so it'll be a goal kick for Manchester United.
I think you say that's the problem, though, because he does get power, so then Dominguez, he's not got enough time to really react to it, as you say, because he's just trying to get on the end of it.
He's done well, actually.
He's spot on. He's done really well to just, I think, guide it towards goal. Again, maybe if that's, 5-6 yards back, it's actually a really good opportunity to swing one, and it's just a little bit too close, as you said, a yard or two outside the box. It's an awkward one, but Forest, I think they've responded really well to going 1-0 down. I know it was early on. They've responded really well. That's poor from Cunha.
Given away to Elliot Anderson in the centre circle. He's now driving forward as Man United players back. Anderson checks the ball back, and then Casemiro catches him, but I think the referees waved it away as Anderson was not going to collect the ball. That's also not been given a foul. Gibbs White, similar situation, knocks the ball away from Casemiro, but also away from himself. Casemiro didn't actually make a challenge, and Gibbs White just ran into him. Ball forward from Bruno Fernandes to Mbumo, and Mbumo can't get it under control, so he's heading towards the corner flag with Milenkovic wrestling him, if you like. Shaw now, Mainu back into the midfield third. Bruno Fernandes on it deep. In fact, so deep that every Forest player is in front of him. Casemiro got a triangle of Forest attackers around him in Gibbs White, Jesus and Wood. Dalot now on the right hand side, poor ball infield. Sees Dominguez take it away and bring it forward to Chris Wood. Now there's space on the right hand side for Neco Williams, but he just couldn't get the ball under control. Seemed a little infuriated with Hutchinson for that pass. And now we'll look back at this Anderson and Casemiro collision. It's certainly not a foul. I think he's already fallen over, hasn't he?
Yeah, I think if anything, he loses
Never
balance.
A foul.
Casemiro's going in to win the ball, but they almost both go down at the same time, don't they? I don't think it was a foul, but I could have seen the Gibbs White one being given, but I think it was a good decision from the referee. I just felt maybe Forest were probably going, well, that's 2 times in quick succession. He didn't want to give it against Casemiro, but Forest are doing well. United are going to be open, but it's been a good 35 minutes and looking to still be a quality game in the last 10 minutes of the first half.
Yeah, it's been relatively end-to-end since Forest got into it around 15 minutes ago. Martinez shielding the ball from Hutchinson, who couldn't beat the Argentinian defender. Long ball forward has bounced nicely into the path of Mbumo. In fact, Milenkovic was leaving it to bounce. Mbumo all on it up on his own though. Cunha, he thought about spreading the ball over to Dalot. Dallow's asking for it on this near side, but Maguire has the ball inside his own half. Mainu, so interestingly, he's playing far deeper than Casemiro, and Casemiro's really become an attacking outlet for Manchester United this year, as we've already mentioned. 9 goals this season. I believe he's got 3 assists as well, so in double figures for goal contributions. 35 minutes played. It's still Manchester United 1, Nottingham Forest 0. But I don't think you'd say out and out Man United have been the better side.
No, I just think that, Luke Shaw's goal, it's not even taking an opportunity, it's just a well-struck strike. I thought it was poorly defended by Forest, because I know that's his 5th goal for United. He's not a goal scorer, is he? So you probably say, if that's Cunha, he's closed down, if that's Mbumo, he's closed down. But it's a sweet strike from the full-back completely. And you would say as well, the biggest chance has fallen for Gibbs White, 1-on-1, and Mbumo off the post. They're the bigger chances in the game, aren't they? It's just United have taken their chance and they're coming forward again.
Yeah. Referees being consistent as Cunha goes to ground under challenge from Milenkovic from behind. Lovely ball over to Gibbs White, who controlled it really nicely actually, but Dalot managed to get a foot in. Left the ball in no man's land for Maguire though, with Gibbs White hunting it down. Maguire can only kick the ball out of play, so Nets will have a throw in to take on the left hand side. Inside the attacking third to Gibbs White, who tries to flick it on for Nets. Dallow's going to come across his own, almost across his own box. Mainu and Bruno Fernandes sharing the ball on the edge of the area. Advantage played. Mainu striding forward. Man United have got a Good attack brewing here with a little bit of pace. It's 4v4. Diallo goes out wide to Bruno Fernandes, who tries to play it across the box. That'll be a Manchester United corner.
Again, lovely transition. That's what Mainu is best at. You said he's sitting deeper than Casemiro. I think that's his best role, sitting deep. You have like a box-to-box with him in Casemiro. As you said, he's been a great goal outlet. He's a Brazilian as well. So he can get in the box and have numbers. But that's what Mainu's good at, is being that sitter, if you will, of the two. And then when he can pick it up and drive forward, he's excellent. I know he's, maybe 5'9", 5'10". He's not a tall player, but he's so strong, and he's just quite stocky as well for his size. Great progressor of the ball. And I was to call, and let's be honest, all eyes on Casemiro here.
Yeah, Casemiro and Maguire would be the two most likely candidates to score towards the back post. Sells has done well. Back in from Martinez, taking the shot. He's put his arm up asking for something, but I think a handball would have been desperate. Anderson in the corner under pressure, and that'll be a Manchester United throw-in.
The pressure from Shaw and Martinez there. Again, I think, as you said, Martinez almost put the hand up to just hope that it's hit someone's hand. I'm sure we might see a replay of something here, but from the amount of bodies and how it hits someone, our cameras point to Elliot Anderson.
No,
I think it comes off his head and his shoulder, doesn't it? Then maybe onto his arm. We're
certainly not a handball.
And certainly, that's one of them where I can understand you looking at it, but yeah, it's nowhere near a handball.
Yeah, I think they have actually as well. Referee Michael Salisbury indicating that Matt Donoghue, the VAR, this afternoon's VAR I should say, was having a quick look at it, but very, very quickly concluded, rightfully so. Diallo now on the cusp of the attacking third, beating Nets. But Nets tracks back well. Now doubled up on is the Ivorian. Dominguez does well to help out and win the ball. Gibbs White now striding forward, still inside their own half. Forest. Mainu's gone to ground to win the ball, but the referee has given the foul. He did catch Dominguez on the top of the ankle, and the ball rather hit him rather than he actually went and outright won the ball. Yeah, I think it's a 50-50 really. Some will be given one way, some will be given the other. Ultimately, it's not in a dangerous area, of course, in the penalty box, so I don't think Mainu can complain too much. He has caught the man, and like I say, he didn't really go and win the ball. He more had the ball sort of hit him.
I think as well it doesn't help that Ahmad's coming in at the back as well as it. It's like a sandwich, isn't it? I think you're right, it is a foul, and again, just over 6 minutes before we hit 45 minutes, I think United now have upped the intensity a little bit, looking for that 2-goal lead going into half-time.
Yeah, indeed, and Forest still pushing on. Nets, back to Anderson. Yeah, since the 20th minute mark, Forest, Manchester United have had probably just as many chances as Forest, but certainly had the lion's share of possession, I'd argue, since the 20th minute. Manchester United have had 55% overall, but like I say, there's been no side that's clearly dominated. I think Forest have struggled to create chances. The irony's been really, to sum it up, while Forest just have the ball inside their own half, that the team that's had the possession, the other team has created the chances quicker. When Forest have the ball like this and Man United have won it back, they got up the pitch to create chances. Likewise, Forest did in the first 20 minutes. Here they come now, though, Forest. A slower build-up, but now they're bringing some pace. Neco Williams goes to cross, but it's blocked by Shaw, and they've earned a corner.
And it could be a set pieces. As you said, I thought the one that Shaw headed away, you were spot on that Chris Wood just didn't look interested. I think if he goes to head that's a really good opportunity for Wood at the back six. Just Shaw read it quite well and nodded it away. So, look, although United are really good at set pieces, Forest are great at them too.
Wood, Dominguez, Hutchinson, Jesus even, all in the box. I'm sure Milenkovic will be up, and Morato as well. They are, in fact. So it's going to come in from Hutchinson. Floated one into the 6-yard box, straight into the hands of Lamans, who thinks about getting Manchester United on the way quickly, but I think he knows there's no need, as long as he doesn't hold the ball for 8 seconds. Dallo striding forward towards the halfway line. Casemiro to Cunha, who's deep. Casemiro once more. Nice exchange between the two Brazilians. He's trying to get forward. Ball to Bruno Fernandes into the box. What can he do? Takes his shot on. It's blocked by Milenkovic. Neat work in the box from Bruno Fernandes, as always. It'll be a corner ball, which he's taken quickly to Mbumo, and he wants it back, of course. He's going to cross the ball into the box. There's a slip from Nets. Bruno Fernandes didn't quite capitalise on it. Goes to cross. Blocked. In fact, it's Dominguez he's up against. He's looking for an option. Dallo now, who has space to cross and does. Into the box. Diallo over the bar.
That was a good leap from the diminutive winger there, wasn't it? Just unfortunately a little bit underneath it. I think it's a great ball from Delo, I have to say. Takes a touch, rolls it out. A lovely whipped in cross, but unfortunately, Casemiro's in front of him. Maguire's behind him. If that falls for one of them, I'm probably looking at 2-0 to the Red Devils.
Yeah, you'd think those two would certainly have worked. Sells, who was very interested in it. In the end, it sailed, I think, over and wide. Taking a short goal kick of Forest. 2.5 minutes left of regular time in this half. I imagine there'll be a minute or two perhaps of added time, nothing more. Just a physical collision between Shaw and Hutchinson. Neither player really impacted. Manchester United have amassed 9 shots, just the 2 on target though so far in this first half. Just the 3 shots for Forest, which is where they're falling short really. I think they've done alright with the ball. I think when they've tried to attack quickly and on the break or a counter-attack, albeit they've been few and far between, they have looked good. I think everyone knows what they're capable of from that point of view. Well, that's a lovely ball from Gibbs-White, which sees Wood into the box, but Martinez is there to sweep up. But Wood's first touch again was poor. He's really not grown into this game yet.
No, he hasn't. You spoke about almost the top 2 of Wood and Jesus, didn't you, earlier? And I think Jesus, you said one's got to drop deep, and you were correct with that. And Jesus has done that, and getting on the balls, I think, grown him into the game. Whereas Wood, I know he's had his injury woes this year as well, but yeah, he's really struggling. But Forest again, another set piece, another chance at a goal.
It's going to be a corner from the left-hand side for Forest, so Anderson will be over to take this one. Usual suspects in the box: Jesus, Wood, Milenkovic, Dominguez, Morato. They're all inside the 6-yard box, crowding that area. It's floated towards the back of the 6-yard box, headed upwards, and out for a goal kick for Sana Lemons to take. Harry Maguire thinks he's fouled, but it's not been given as a free kick. It'll be a goal kick.
We'll say once again, not as bad as we have seen this season, but once again, just an absolutely packed out 6-yard box. Bruno's having a word. He's up against Dominguez. He's pushing and shoving. Maguire. I mean, he goes down.
Really,
it is a foul, and then he brings not a foul from it's Maguire's foul, but then he brings Morato down, doesn't he? So it's awkward.
I'm not sure he was, to be honest. I think Morato just leans on him, and Maguire falls down. To be honest, I'm adamant it's been given as a goal kick rather than a free kick, which is the right decision for me. I mean, when both players fall down like that anyway, unless one is clearly pulled, it's just 50-50. I think most people would rather see the game just flow. Contention in terms of punditry of Premier League match at the moment as to whether we have an issue in terms of all the grappling that goes on at corners. Ball in the Forest half now in possession of Manchester United. Cunha, who's regularly dropped deep, has done so again. Gets the ball over to Luke Shaw. Advantage played. We've now played 45 minutes. Just waiting for confirmation of how long it's going to be added. Nasty swipe from Cunha on and Elliot Anderson, I think it was. 1 minute of added time to be added. So Manchester United 1, Nottingham Forest 0 into the last 50 seconds of this first half then. Ball forward to Dominguez, deep inside his own half. He's got his only real option is nets out wide. The German fullback does get the ball as well, slightly ahead of Diallo, who does get back. Goes sensibly back to his Argentinian midfielder, does nets. Then a 1-2 with Gibbs-White sees Dominguez go back to Anderson. He spreads the ball all the way over to Hutchinson on the far side, who tries to chest it beyond Luke Shaw, but then fouls the Manchester United left back. In fact, it was Neco Williams, who, of course, as we know, likes to get forward. Utilises a full-back for Forest over the last 2 or 3 years and loves to get forward. I mean, was a wide midfielder by trade at Liverpool, I believe, wasn't he? At first, when he came through. We have now played the full 60 seconds of the minute they'll be added, so Sana Lemons isn't going to get to take that free kick. All eyes on Luke Shaw, then the goal scorer for Manchester United, a half that's been closely contested, but it is Manchester United 1, Nottingham Forest 0.
Thanks to a Luke Shaw goal inside the opening 5 minutes, Manchester United lead Nottingham Forest 1-0 at half-time in the final game of the Premier League season at Old Trafford. A very good first 45 minutes between the two sides. The goal came from a cross from Fernandes, not dealt with in the box. It fell for Shaw, lovely first touch and a lovely strike on the half volley to give only his 5th goal for the Red Devils in his near 12 years of service. Forest had a great chance with Gibbs White in Burmu, hit the post as well, but the Red Devils lead 1-0 at half-time. Thanks to a Luke Shaw goal inside the opening 5 minutes, Manchester United lead Nottingham Forest 1-0 at half-time in the final game of the Premier League season at Old Trafford. A very good first 45 minutes between the two sides. The goal came from a cross from Fernandes, not dealt with in the box. It fell for Shaw, lovely first touch and a lovely strike on the half volley to give only his 5th goal for the Red Devils in his near 12 years of service. Forest had a great chance with Gibbs White in Burmu, hit the post as well, but the Red Devils lead 1-0 at half-time. Thanks to a Luke Shaw goal inside the opening 5 minutes, Manchester United lead Nottingham Forest 1-0 at half-time in the final game of the Premier League season at Old Trafford. A very good first 45 minutes between the two sides. The goal came from a cross from Fernandes, not dealt with in the box. It fell for Shaw, lovely first touch and a lovely strike on the half volley to give only his 5th goal for the Red Devils in his near 12 years of service. Forest had a great chance with Gibbs White in Burmu, hit the post as well, but the Red Devils lead 1-0 at half-time. Thanks to a Luke Shaw goal inside the opening 5 minutes, Manchester United lead Nottingham Forest 1-0 at half-time in the final game of the Premier League season at Old Trafford. A very good first 45 minutes between the two sides. The goal came from a cross from Fernandes, not dealt with in the box. It fell for Shaw, lovely first touch and a lovely strike on the half volley to give only his 5th goal for the Red Devils in his near 12 years of service. Forest had a great chance with Gibbs White in Burmu, hit the post as well, but the Red Devils lead 1-0 at half-time. Thanks to a Luke Shaw goal inside the opening 5 minutes, Manchester United lead Nottingham Forest 1-0 at half-time in the final game of the Premier League season at Old Trafford. A very good first 45 minutes between the two sides. The goal came from a cross from Fernandes, not dealt with in the box. It fell for Shaw, lovely first touch and a lovely strike on the half volley to give only his 5th goal for the Red Devils in his near 12 years of service. Forest had a great chance with Gibbs White in Burmu, hit the post as well, but the Red Devils lead 1-0 at half-time. Thanks to a Luke Shaw goal inside the opening 5 minutes, Manchester United lead Nottingham Forest 1-0 at half-time in the final game of the Premier League season at Old Trafford. A very good first 45 minutes between the two sides. The goal came from a cross from Fernandes, not dealt with in the box. It fell for Shaw, lovely first touch and a lovely strike on the half volley to give only his 5th goal for the Red Devils in his near 12 years of service. Forest had a great chance with Gibbs White in Burmu, hit the post as well, but the Red Devils lead 1-0 at half-time. Thanks to a Luke Shaw goal inside the opening 5 minutes, Manchester United lead Nottingham Forest 1-0 at half-time in the final game of the Premier League season at Old Trafford. A very good first 45 minutes between the two sides. The goal came from a cross from Fernandes, not dealt with in the box. It fell for Shaw, lovely first touch and a lovely strike on the half volley to give only his 5th goal for the Red Devils in his near 12 years of service. Forest had a great chance with Gibbs White in Burmu, hit the post as well, but the Red Devils lead 1-0 at half-time. Thanks to a Luke Shaw goal inside the opening 5 minutes, Manchester United lead Nottingham Forest 1-0 at half-time in the final game of the Premier League season at Old Trafford. A very good first 45 minutes between the two sides. The goal came from a cross from Fernandes, not dealt with in the box. It fell for Shaw, lovely first touch and a lovely strike on the half volley to give only his 5th goal for the Red Devils in his near 12 years of service. Forest had a great chance with Gibbs White in Burmu, hit the post as well, but the Red Devils lead 1-0 at half-time. Thanks to a Luke Shaw goal inside the opening 5 minutes, Manchester United lead Nottingham Forest 1-0 at half-time in the final game of the Premier League season at Old Trafford. A very good first 45 minutes between the two sides. The goal came from a cross from Fernandes, not dealt with in the box. It fell for Shaw, lovely first touch and a lovely strike on the half volley to give only his 5th goal for the Red Devils in his near 12 years of service. Forest had a great chance with Gibbs White in Burmu, hit the post as well, but the Red Devils lead 1-0 at half-time. Thanks to a Luke Shaw goal inside the opening 5 minutes, Manchester United lead Nottingham Forest 1-0 at half-time in the final game of the Premier League season at Old Trafford. A very good first 45 minutes between the two sides. The goal came from a cross from Fernandes, not dealt with in the box. It fell for Shaw, lovely first touch and a lovely strike on the half volley to give only his 5th goal for the Red Devils in his near 12 years of service. Forest had a great chance with Gibbs White in Burmu hit the post as well, but the Red Devils lead 1-0 at half-time. Thanks to a Luke Shaw goal inside the opening 5 minutes, Manchester United lead Nottingham Forest 1-0 at half-time in the final game of the Premier League season at Old Trafford. A very good first 45 minutes between the two sides. The goal came from a cross from Fernandes, not dealt with in the box. It fell for Shaw, lovely first touch and a lovely strike on the half volley to give only his 5th goal for the Red Devils in his near 12 years of service. Forest had a great chance with Gibbs White in Burmu hit the post as well, but the Red Devils lead 1-0 at half-time. Thanks to a Luke Shaw goal inside the opening 5 minutes, Manchester United lead Nottingham Forest 1-0 at half-time in the final game of the Premier League season at Old Trafford. A very good first 45 minutes between the two sides. The goal came from a cross from Fernandes, not dealt with in the box. It fell for Shaw, lovely first touch and a lovely strike on the half volley to give only his 5th goal for the Red Devils in his near 12 years of service. Forest had a great chance with Gibbs White in Burmu hit the post as well, but the Red Devils lead 1-0 at half-time. Thanks to a Luke Shaw goal inside the opening 5 minutes, Manchester United lead Nottingham Forest 1-0 at half-time in the final game of the Premier League season at Old Trafford. A very good first 45 minutes between the two sides. The goal came from a cross from Fernandes, not dealt with in the box. It fell for Shaw, lovely first touch and a lovely strike on the half volley to give only his 5th goal for the Red Devils in his near 12 years of service. Forest had a great chance with Gibbs White in Burmu hit the post as well, but the Red Devils lead 1-0 at half-time. Thanks to a Luke Shaw goal inside the opening 5 minutes, Manchester United lead Nottingham Forest 1-0 at half-time in the final game of the Premier League season at Old Trafford. A very good first 45 minutes between the two sides. The goal came from a cross from Fernandes, not dealt with in the box. It fell for Shaw, lovely first touch and a lovely strike on the half volley to give only his 5th goal for the Red Devils in his near 12 years of service. Forest had a great chance with Gibbs White in Burmu hit the post as well, but the Red Devils lead 1-0 at half-time. Thanks to a Luke Shaw goal inside the opening 5 minutes, Manchester United lead Nottingham Forest 1-0 at half-time in the final game of the Premier League season at Old Trafford. A very good first 45 minutes between the two sides. The goal came from a cross from Fernandes, not dealt with in the box. It fell for Shaw, lovely first touch and a lovely strike on the half volley to give only his 5th goal for the Red Devils in his near 12 years of service. Forest had a great chance with Gibbs White in Burmu hit the post as well, but the Red Devils lead 1-0 at half-time. Thanks to a Luke Shaw goal inside the opening 5 minutes, Manchester United lead Nottingham Forest 1-0 at half-time in the final game of the Premier League season at Old Trafford. A very good first 45 minutes between the two sides. The goal came from a cross from Fernandes, not dealt with in the box. It fell for Shaw, lovely first touch and a lovely strike on the half volley to give only his 5th goal for the Red Devils in his near 12 years of service. Forest had a great chance with Gibbs White in Burmu hit the post as well, but the Red Devils lead 1-0 at half-time. Thanks to a Luke Shaw goal inside the opening 5 minutes, Manchester United lead Nottingham Forest 1-0 at half-time in the final game of the Premier League season at Old Trafford. A very good first 45 minutes between the two sides. The goal came from a cross from Fernandes, not dealt with in the box. It fell for Shaw, lovely first touch and a lovely strike on the half volley to give only his 5th goal for the Red Devils in his near 12 years of service. Forest had a great chance with Gibbs White in Burmu hit the post as well, but the Red Devils lead 1-0 at half-time. Thanks to a Luke Shaw goal inside the opening 5 minutes, Manchester United lead Nottingham Forest 1-0 at half-time in the final game of the Premier League season at Old Trafford. A very good first 45 minutes between the two sides. The goal came from a cross from Fernandes, not dealt with in the box. It fell for Shaw, lovely first touch and a lovely strike on the half volley to give only his 5th goal for the Red Devils in his near 12 years of service. Forest had a great chance with Gibbs White in Burmu hit the post as well, but the Red Devils lead 1-0 at half-time. Thanks to a Luke Shaw goal inside the opening 5 minutes, Manchester Manchester United lead Nottingham Forest 1-0 at half-time in the final game of the Premier League season at Old Trafford. A very good first 45 minutes between the two sides. The goal came from a cross from Fernandes, not dealt with in the box. It fell for Shaw. Lovely first touch and a lovely strike on the half volley to give only his 5th goal for the Red Devils in his near 12 years of service. Forest had a great chance with Gibbs White in Burma, hit the post as well, but the Red Devils lead 1-0 at half-time. Thanks to a Luke Shaw goal inside the opening 5 minutes, Manchester United lead Nottingham Forest 1-0 at half-time in the final game of the Premier League season at Old Trafford. A very good first 45 minutes between the two sides. The goal came from a cross from Fernandes, not dealt with in the box. It fell for Shaw. Lovely first touch and a lovely strike on the half volley to give only his 5th goal for the Red Devils in his near 12 years of service. Forest had a great chance with Gibbs White in Burma, hit the post as well, but the Red Devils lead 1-0 at half-time. Thanks to a Luke Shaw goal inside the opening 5 minutes, Manchester United lead Nottingham Forest 1-0 at half-time in the final game of the Premier League season at Old Trafford. A very good first 45 minutes between the two sides. The goal came from a cross from Fernandes, not dealt with in the box. It fell for Shaw. Lovely first touch and a lovely strike on the half volley to give only his 5th goal for the Red Devils in his near 12 years of service. Forest had a great chance with Gibbs White in Burma, hit the post as well, but the Red Devils lead 1-0 at half-time. Thanks to a Luke Shaw goal inside the opening 5 minutes, Manchester United lead Nottingham Forest 1-0 at half-time in the final game of the Premier League season at Old Trafford. A very good first 45 minutes between the two sides. The goal came from a cross from Fernandes, not dealt with in the box. It fell for Shaw. Lovely first touch and a lovely strike on the half volley to give only his 5th goal for the Red Devils in his near 12 years of service. Forest had a great chance with Gibbs White in Burma, hit the post as well, but the Red Devils lead 1-0 at half-time. Thanks to a Luke Shaw goal inside the opening 5 minutes, Manchester United lead Nottingham Forest 1-0 at half-time in the final game of the Premier League season at Old Trafford. A very good first 45 minutes between the two sides. The goal came from a cross from Fernandes, not dealt with in the box. It fell for Shaw. Lovely first touch and a lovely strike on the half volley to give only his 5th goal for the Red Devils in his near 12 years of service. Forest had a great chance with Gibbs White in Burma, hit the post as well, but the Red Devils lead 1-0 at half-time. Thanks to a Luke Shaw goal inside the opening 5 minutes, Manchester United lead Nottingham Forest 1-0 at half-time in the final game of the Premier League season at Old Trafford. A very good first 45 minutes between the two sides. The goal came from a cross from Fernandes, not dealt with in the box. It fell for Shaw. Lovely first touch and a lovely strike on the half volley to give only his 5th goal for the Red Devils in his near 12 years of service. Forest had a great chance with Gibbs White in Burma, hit the post as well, but the Red Devils lead 1-0 at half-time. Thanks to a Luke Shaw goal inside the opening 5 minutes, Manchester United lead Nottingham Forest 1-0 at half-time in the final game of the Premier League season at Old Trafford. A very good first 45 minutes between the two sides. The goal came from a cross from Fernandes, not dealt with in the box. It fell for Shaw. Lovely first touch and a lovely strike on the half volley to give only his 5th goal for the Red Devils in his near 12 years of service. Forest had a great chance with Gibbs White in Burma, hit the post as well, but the Red Devils lead 1-0 at half-time. Thanks to a Luke Shaw goal inside the opening 5 minutes, Manchester United lead Nottingham Forest 1-0 at half-time in the final game of the Premier League season at Old Trafford. A very good first 45 minutes between the two sides. The goal came from a cross from Fernandes, not dealt with in the box. It fell for Shaw. Lovely first touch and a lovely strike on the half volley to give only his 5th goal for the Red Devils in his near 12 years of service. Forest had a great chance with Gibbs White in Burma, hit the post as well, but the Red Devils lead 1-0 at half-time. Thanks to a Luke Shaw goal inside the opening 5 minutes, Manchester United lead Nottingham Forest 1-0 at half-time in the final game of the Premier League season at Old Trafford. A very good first 45 minutes between the two sides. The goal came from a cross from Fernandes, not dealt with in the box. It fell for Shaw. Lovely first touch and a lovely strike on the half volley to give only his 5th goal for the Red Devils in his near 12 years of service. Forest had a great chance with Gibbs White in Burma, hit the post as well, but the Red Devils lead 1-0 at half-time. Thanks to a Luke Shaw goal inside the opening 5 minutes, Manchester United lead Nottingham Forest 1-0 at half-time in the final game of the Premier League season at Old Trafford. A very good first 45 minutes between the two sides. The goal came from a cross from Fernandes, not dealt with in the box. It fell for Shaw. Lovely first touch and a lovely strike on the half volley to give only his 5th goal for the Red Devils in his near 12 years of service. Forest had a great chance with Gibbs White in Burma, hit the post as well, but the Red Devils lead 1-0 at half-time. thanks to a Luke Shaw goal inside the opening 5 minutes. Manchester United lead Nottingham Forest 1-0 at half-time in the final game of the Premier League season at Old Trafford. A very good first 45 minutes between the two. And it is a warm welcome back to this afternoon's independent off-tube studio commentary of all the action from Old Trafford, where Manchester United lead 1-0 thanks to a Luke Shaw strike on the 5th minute mark. His first goal of the season and his first goal since the 22-23 season. Only his 5th ever goal for the Red Devils. Michael Carrick's side leading 1-0. The best chance over the half for Nottingham Forest fell a 1-on-1 with Morgan Gibbs-White, well saved by Sammy Sk, and then up the other end within probably 60 seconds, and Burmu hit his left-footed effort off the post and put wide. It did Casemiro on the rebound. A very good half. Looking at went ahead at half-time at Old Trafford since 1984. 399 games for United, 364 wins, 35 draws, 0 defeats. So that's on the line in this second half. Liverpool ran them very close a few weeks ago in terms of breaking that record. We'll have to see how the second half does go. There's been no substitutions at half-time, so I'll bring you the lineups in a moment. But here come United on a counter-attack. Cunha, ball into the back post. It's a little bit overhit. Ahmad will keep it in play. Mbeumo with the right-footed effort gets right underneath it, and he loops it over the bar into the Stretford end. What a start that would have been to the second half for United. Shaw poked it forward. Cunha was stretching to get there. His ball's a little bit overhit. Sells doesn't really deal with it. Ahmad puts it back into a dangerous area. Yes, it's on his weaker right boot. That should have been 2-0 to Manchester United for me. It's myself, Lewis Raftery, joined by Kieran Shelley, take through the entirety of this second half. Should that have been 2-0 to the Red Devils? I
mean, Mbeumo absolutely has to get it on target, and if it goes on target, you think it goes in the back of the net. I think Diallo did really well to keep it in play. It wasn't the kindest of passes, you could argue, but the play of Mbeumo's quality, even with his weaker foot on the volley, you'd think just cushions that steadily into the back of the net, but kind of went for power a little bit, didn't he? Trying to blast it past Sells and gives Forrest a chance to get back on the ball.
Ahmad brings down Elliot Anderson there, just outside his own penalty area, so free kick for Forest. Quickly then, that gives me an opportunity, as I say, no substitutions at half-time, but the 11's in full if you are after that. Lamens in goal for the Red Devils, a back four off Delort, Maguire, Martinez and Shaw, with Casemiro, Menu, the holders in midfield, Ahmad on the right, Cunha off the left, Skipper Fernandez in behind supporting Mbeumo. It's almost a quite fluid front four though, it has to be said, whereas for Forest it Sells in goal, back four of Williams, Milenkovic, Morato and Nets, Hutchinson off the right, Skipper, Gibbs-White off the left, with Anderson and Dominguez the two holders in almost a 4-4-2, with Jesus and Wood leading the line for Vitor Pereira's tricky trees. Michael Salisbury is the referee for all the action this afternoon. Of course, as well, we've got you covered for all the other Premier League games kicking off at 3 o'clock, as well as a late one. We've got Brentford Palace, Everton Sunderland, Leeds Brighton and Wolves Fulham at 3 o'clock. Feels like a Saturday with this slate of games. And at 5:30 it's Newcastle versus West Ham. A massive game for the Hammers, with Spurs yet to play in midweek against Chelsea. An opportunity for 3 points there. They can jump out of the relegation zone, at least for the time being. But myself and Kieran, our eyes are glued to Old Trafford for the moment, and it's been a good back and forth first half. Neither team with too much to play for. Well, really, there's nothing to play for. United can sew up third place, but due to their massive goal difference over Aston Villa, they were 3 points above the Villa coming into this game, and with only 3 points left for Unai Emery's side to win. It basically had third sewn up anyway. That's realistically the only thing to do. Forest sitting 16th there, 5 points above Spurs and 7 points above West Ham, so they are safe in the league. There's nothing that West Ham can do to catch them up. Spurs might catch them up, but they won't get relegated, so both sides are playing for a bit of end of season pride, it has to be said, this afternoon. I'm sure both teams will want to win. United will want to win in their final game at Old Trafford. Casemiro's final game, of course, at Old Trafford. I'm sure the Brazilian is having a great goal-scoring season. Would love to add another. Bruno Fernandes on the left-hand side. Cunha's cut inside, so he's got no one overlapping. Continues to drive down the left. Good play by the Portuguese man. And will he win a corner? I believe he will. Every corner's been an in-swinger, and in Burma's taken most. Now it's an opportunity for the skipper to take one. Yeah, indeed. He'll have one from that left-hand side. I think it's the first corner Manchester United have had from the left-hand side, in front of the Stretford end. Bruno assist, Casemiro goal. That would be
That would be a moment for sure. Harry Maguire's up from the back, of course. Manchester United is second best from set pieces this season, 21 goals, only Arsenal with 23 ahead of them. Like I say, Casemiro, Maguire, all the big men in the box. That is their big men, really.
Fernandes whips one and it's into a good area, but headed away by Jesus. Just not enough on it. If there's a little bit more in it, there are a lot more Red Devils players at the back sticks. Cunha picks it up, floats one into the box. It'll fall for Maguire, takes a touch, goes for a strike, blocked away, but chased down by Dominguez as he go out for a corner. I think he's done well to keep it in play, but has to poke it out for a throw-in. So there might be a long one coming up, or Fernandes might take it short to Mainu. He does. Mainu pokes it back out to Fernandes. Heavy touch out of play for a Forest throw-in, and gives an opportunity. Just have a quick look back at this. I'll call it half chance for Harry Maguire. If our broadcaster's going to show the replay. Cunha plays a lovely ball to the back post. Casemiro's in front of Wood, so can't do too much. Maguire, he's almost just going, right, I'm just going to hit this and hope for the best.
Yeah, you can see he went for it with the laces, went to leather it, if you like, to use a not quite a technical term, but straight off the back of the defender anyway. I think he'd have done well to beat Sells from that angle.
Forest clear their lines. Wood nods it on. It's been a good battle. Kieran pointed out from minute one between Wood and Maguire. That time he got on one-on-one with Martinez. Casemiro plays one to the left-hand side to Cunha. Lovely first touch. Brazilian to Brazilian. Cuts inside into Fernandes. He pokes it through looking for Shaw. Can't quite find the goal scorer. Williams does well to come away with the ball. First time passing to Wood. Martinez chases it down and hooks it out for a throw-in. That time it was Jesus against Martinez. I mean, as I said, you pointed out for a minute one about the battle between Wood and Maguire. That's been a really good one, but every time, you would expect it, Wood's been on Martinez. He has won it, and I'm sure Wood would like to find himself up against the Argentina a little bit more, but unfortunately it just hasn't fallen for him. You spoke about in the first half as well. Wood hasn't really got going in this game, whereas Jesus has dropped deeper and found a bit of rhythm. And does Wood need that a bit more, or does he need maybe someone further up with him and Gibbs White coming inside?
Yeah, well, he was at his best when he had the three midfielders behind him, didn't he? I think Gibbs White being out wide probably hasn't benefited him, although it looks like he's going to try and play a bit more centrally in this half so far. But, I mean, he's not the type of striker who's going to generate his own opportunities. That's the thing, Chris Wood. He needs that service, which was so excellent last season, of course, for him. But at the end of the day, the last two times the ball's come into him, he's taken a poor first touch and it's gone away from him.
We spoke about it as well. I mean, you highlight about Hudson-Odoi. I just think they're missing a lot of pace. Our Forest in their attack here. They come down the right with Williams, swings one into the box, cleared away off the back of Luke Shaw and out for a corner for the Tricky Trees. About in the 53rd minute, about to hit 53 minutes on the clock, give or take. It will be a corner for Forest. In this second half, the hosts United in the usual red, white and black, going from right to left, attacking the Stretford end as they usually do. In the second half, the Tricky Trees left to right in the away strip of cream and navy. So this will be from the near side. Quickly taken into Anderson. He finishes a lovely ball into the box, and it's headed home by Morato. What a ball in from Elliot Anderson. They took it short into Anderson. He was in trouble, and he just shrugged off Amad Diallo as if he wasn't there. Beautiful ball in by Anderson. No one's marking Morato. Great header. Nothing Lamens can do about it. Great start to the second half. This should open the game up, I think, even more. Lovely header by Morato. It's Manchester United 1, Nottingham Forest 1.
Yeah, indeed. And Morato all on his own, really, to put that in the back of the net. Sells had no chance. Was it 4 yards out, 5 yards out, perhaps? As the ball's played in, Anderson does so well to beat Diallo. Maybe offside, but I think Bruno Fernandes is keeping it on. There's even a tug of his shirt, I think, from Harry Maguire, desperately from behind. It's a brilliant ball from Anderson. Just wonder if maybe Lamens could come and claim that, but he's on his goal line, isn't he? Assuming that position from the corner. So brilliant ball from Anderson, and Morato, just no one's picked him up. I'd love to see who was meant to be marking him from the corner. Fernandes just keeps him on side, but he's making that run to try and defend the near post. But brilliant work from Elliot Anderson, who might be sporting the Manchester United red next season.
There is a VAR check, as you spoke about possible offside.
He's onside.
You spot on Fernandes.
Definitely
just
onside.
makes that early defensive run, doesn't he, and keeps him onside. If Fernandes doesn't, I think he is just offside, but Fernandes keeps him on. Again, when it's this close, I don't mind you looking, but you're spot on. It's not going to be offside, and if I'm from a neutral point of view, I'm looking at going, the ball from Anderson, I just want that to be given because it's a lovely cross, and Morato, it's his first goal for Nottingham Forest. I was about to say first goal of the season. I'll correct myself before even saying it. First goal for the Tricky Trees, for the big Brazilian, and the Nottingham Forest fans, their final away day of the season, well, they'll be enjoying it a little bit more. And We can't really even say, because it was such a small sample size when it was 0-0, how it would have been when it's level. We'll have to see how the Red Devils respond here. They come with Casemiro. Fernandez swings it out to the right to Delo. Fizzes one into the box. Falls for Mbeumo. Maybe a handball. Cunha with a strike, and Cunha puts it in the back of the net. I was asking for a response. What are the Red Devils going to do? Well, they regained the lead over just 60 seconds earlier. There might be a look at a possible handball from Brian Mbeumo. The Forest players went straight to the referee. The goal has been given. The linesman's flag stayed down. The referees give it to play. It'll all be up to VAR, but at the moment it's Manchester United 2, Forest 1. What a response from the Red Devils.
Yeah, literally instant response. I mean, Cunha, there's no celebrations though. All the players are staring at the referee. It has been given on field to confirm. We'll take a look at now. We've got a slow-mo replay. Oh, I mean, it gets so. Milenkovic misses the ball, and Mbeumo's arm is it's below 90 degrees. That's for sure. It's up ever so slightly, but in a natural position, and the ball just gets caught between his arm and his body. Oh, it's a really tricky one, to be honest. It's clearly not intentional, but that's not the grounds for a handball anymore. Sort of 20 years past that. I think if you're Forest, you'd feel hard done by if it stands. It looks like it's going to stand. There's no evidence of a VAR check as of yet. I'm sure there is one. Like I say, it's just not been confirmed in the ground or by our broadcasters.
Would you say as well that the old thing that said is there's not enough to overturn it? Would that be a problem as well?
Well, they are looking at it now. I feel like it's going to have to be given it. He essentially catches the ball between his arm and his body. I think he has gained a huge advantage from it. It's whether they deemed that it wasn't in a natural position. He has moved his arm back towards the ball, but again, I think that's just natural movement. I feel like they're going to overturn this, though. They are now looking at it intensively. Lots of replays, of course, being checked.
It's one of them where his arm and his thigh, which it perfectly kind of fits into where it is. If his arm's a little bit up, it hits his thigh first. VAR, the referee, I believe, is going to go to the screen, and we all know, unfortunately, what that usually means.
Yes, the referee's going to overturn this one. So it will remain, we think, Manchester United 1, Nottingham Forest 1. I mean, it's still a terrific response from Man United nonetheless to have that desire to get forward and straight back to a positive move forward. Yeah, I've just seen it again. It's going to be given, isn't it? Sorry, it's going to be overturned.
I think it's quite. I can understand why it would be ruled out, and as you said, it would be one apiece. I think it's harsh. I think as well, when they look at it, does it hit the thigh first and then the arm? Does it hit the arm and then the thigh? Because maybe that's a decision where you go, if it hits the thigh first and the arm, you can't. We'll let it slide. If it hits the arm then the thigh, that's maybe what they're looking at.
I think it's the fact that it's not just hit his arm though. He's actually controlled the ball with his arm, between his arm and his body, and slashed the top of his leg. I think that for me, it's contact with the arm for half a second really. I think for me that's why it's going to be given. Had it have just hit his arm and then perhaps hit the floor, probably not. But like I say, his arm has helped him control the ball. That's the fact of the matter. I think he knows as well.
We claim that, but well, he's quite rightfully about the celebrations. Kind of went off and went, and then we saw everyone look at the referee.
The ball with his arm between his arm and his body.
The longer he looks at it, the longer I think he might say no. I'm all right with that, because if he was right about the celebration, he's made his decision. It will speak to the Old Trafford crowd live. So there's no leave a point in the middle of the field or a point blank. The longer he looks at it, kicks away, just waiting. Unless you're a great lip reader, Kieran, I know I'm not. We'll just have to wait a few seconds before he gives his decision. I mean, our camera,
it stands.
I could assume by the United roar that you can see behind, goal is given. So rightfully responds now. Cunha can go and celebrate, and Mbeumo joins him as well. That's a great. Again, it was as you said, what a response from the Red Devils. We're just about to hit 59 minutes on the clock. About 4 minutes of stoppage due to VAR, but realistically, from kick-off, I'd say less than 60 seconds. Forest aren't happy about it, and I mean, you can argue all you want. Again, if I'm perfectly honest, if the referee said hand, for me, it's more about the on-field decision if this is what they want to do. It also takes the deflection off of Milenkovic. You don't want to take that into account. I think if the referee says that's a handball on the pitch, I think it's hard to overturn it and disagree with the referee's decision. Because it's not being given on the field, I then think at the same time it's hard to overturn it. I could understand if they did, but I do think it's harsh.
I think it's harsh. I don't think that should stand for me. It's the fact that the ball hasn't just hit his arm. Like I say, he's actively, not on purpose by any means, but he's controlled the ball with his arm. It then falls to his feet. He has the shot. It comes off two Forest players, and then Cunha finishes it really well. I mean, it's hard. It would have been harsh on Cunha, but at the end of the day, the ball bounces in front of Mbumo. He's not going to control it if it doesn't touch his arm. So, yeah, I'm not sure that's the correct decision. I think Forest can feel hard done by. Thankfully, it's not going to mean anything in the grand scheme of things in terms of their league position or whether they stay in the division, reach Europe, etc. And neither for Manchester United. But I can certainly understand that many people would think that's the wrong decision.
I have to say as well, that's of course a scoring against his former boss Vitor Pereira, who won both games as Wolves boss against Manchester United last season. Cunha scored in I think it was a 2-0 win at Molineux, where Bruno Fernandes got sent off in around Christmas 2024. It's his 10th goal of the season for Cunha as well. We spoke about the likes of Mbumo. The start of the season, it was almost, Fernandes has carried this Manchester United side for half a decade, realistically, but it was almost him and Mbumo at the start of the season, while Sesko and Cunha kind of adapted to the system. I think he scored his first goal, Cunha, against Brighton in October or November. It took him a while to get going, but since the turn of the year, him and Sesko, along with Bruno Fernandes, he's really excelled and found himself very comfortable at Old Trafford, as himself and his former manager just have a heart shake and a laugh about that goal.
Yeah, indeed, a good finish. Gibbs White now striding forward. What's going to he do? Getting into the box, he's beaten everyone on his way through. Gets the shot off, I think, just about, but smothered by Lamons, who did really well on that occasion. But what a run from Gibbs White!
That was absolutely excellent. So that wasn't as much of a gilt-edged chance and a one-on-one. It was beautiful from Gibbs White, as Kieran said. Of course, he had that big one-on-one chance earlier. I think he should have slotted that one away, if I'm being really brutally honest, on the midfielder. That one was just a mazy run that he also was maybe being impeded a little bit by Maguire. I think if he goes down, he might even get the free kick on the edge of the area. Instead, he continues to go forward. Lamens came out, made himself big. He'll go down as a shot on target, I do believe, but now Forest, I mean, what a response that would have been from Forest after we spoke about United responding. Just over an hour played, we had about a 4-minute stoppage for VAR, so that will already, of course, go on to the stoppage time at the end of this game, whenever we get bonus as well. But 62 minutes on the clock. It's independent off-tube studio commentary of all the action at Old Trafford. The last game of the season at Old Trafford, watching the replay back from Gibbs, he's just stretching for it, unfortunately. It's Manchester United 2, Forest 1. United took the lead early on with a strike from Luke Shaw. His first in about 2 or 3 seasons. Then Forest scored with a beautiful ball from Anderson onto the head of Morato. Then within inside 60 seconds, Cunha tapped it in the back of the net. Then for VAR review for a handball by Mbumo. But it is United who lead 2-1, and Fernandes swings his free kick in, looking for Casemiro, of course. I'm sure that's a double that don't want to go. Nodded out by Jesus, out for a corner, and it's attack for United will continue. I think now United are thinking, right, we're 1-0 up, then we've got to play back. We want to regain the lead which we had. Now we want to go and get that 2-goal buffer.
Yeah, indeed. Finish the game off, really, you'd think. I don't think Forest would get 2 more goals in this match, which might be harsh, but they just weren't terrifically prolific. When they were in the attacking areas, created enough opportunities, but getting those shots off, key shots off, was a problem. Manchester United defended the goal really well. Corner comes in.
Nearly falls for Casemiro. Maguire was there as well. Believes there's been a foul against Milenkovic in the corner as it was swung in. Looks like Mbumo was the man who's caught the defender, and Forest get a free kick inside of their own penalty area. Forest do play out from the back again. I think United, they do look very much intense. They want to take advantage of what they've got. The game is very open, as it has to be said. Casemiro plays it forward to Fernandes. Into Mbumo, he's got a one-on-one, and he puts it over the bar. I will say, because it's on everyone's lips, with Fernandes looking for that 20th assist. Well, that would have been it right there. Mbumo with a cheeky grin from the Portuguese Magnifico. He puts it wide. Again, I'm not saying you should ever score a goal, but that should have been on target, and it easily could have been a 3-1.
Yeah, indeed. He has to score that, Brian Mbumo. I mean, we saw a statistic that suggests he's certainly not in form. No goal in his last 11 appearances. I think it was just 1 shot on target in his last 11, which remains the case as well. It's his weaker right foot again, but a player of his quality really should be finishing that. I mean, he's beaten the keeper by playing it high, and yeah, agony for Bruno Fernandes, who's hunting that 20th assist. I'm just wondering now, as we approach the 65th minute, if we're getting into substitution territory. Certainly for Forest, have got some reinforcements. Ryan Yates, you'd think, might be extra legs in midfield. James McAtee and Taro Awoniyi. I mean, certainly not their strongest bench. They've got 2 keepers on it. For one, Manchester United The standouts really would probably be Dog. Oh, there might be a slip there. The ball was played back to Sells and Boomer applying pressure. But yeah, Mount and Xerxes really the two key subs for Manchester United. Both benches relatively weak, actually.
Yeah, usually, of course, Sesko, it's been either, let's just say, usually Ahmad on the bench or Sesko on the bench. One was starting it. That would be the swap, wouldn't it? You spot on there, maybe Mount screams. I don't think Fernandes will come off unless it's the last few minutes, maybe to get a round of applause from Old Trafford. I could see Casemiro coming off to get one last round of applause, as we say. Maybe that could be for maybe an Ugarte. I'm not too sure, but I think you're right. This is a time of game for substitutions. Gibbs White plays it forward to Jesus as they're coming together there with Maguire and Jesus. I don't actually know the ball's gone off last. I believe the linesman's given it for Forest. Forest have taken it well to a couple of 10 yards further forward, so the referee will say, well, it's yours, but you've got to go further back there. So it will be a throw-in for Forest. Of course, the lineups are coming out. We're approaching, we're 5-2 on the clock. We're just over 25 minutes left of this game. And of course, as I said, a packed out 3 o'clock slate. And that's one of them. We're seeing pictures of him. Burmu, he had this. Well, it's now pointing towards our broadcasters, the replay. I think that's one of them as well. You could argue that for either way. I think until you're purple and blue in the face. And like you said, what reminds me of is when as ball played forward, strike comes in. We didn't even see that live pictures. Saved by Sells, another corner for United. Must have been an Ahmad strike when Aston Villa visited Old Trafford. And it was 2-0 to the Red Devils. It was a 1-2 between Fernandes and Casemiro. He played it for Diallo. Good strike on goal. Saved well by Sells. And it was it Bagindia and the touch and the save and all that in the last game of the season. That cost Aston Villa Champions League football because they could have won that game. Whereas you said, rightfully so, controversy. But there's no teams. This couldn't get Forest relegated. This isn't going to miss out on Champions League football for United. Here they come. They'll bring Kieran in a moment as Lisandro Martinez has the ball. Inside the penalty area, trying to wriggle away is the Argentine. Well defended by Chris Wood. He pokes it forward looking for Morgan Gibbs-White. Tries to put it through the legs of Delors. Delors comes away with the ball and Martinez does. So possibly it's a controversial VAR goal, no goal. Goal stands, of course. But thankfully, maybe for both sides, you'll look back and go, well, there's not too much on the line though this afternoon.
No, not really for either team, but I'm sure Forest will be up for it. There's lots of reasons why you want to finish strong. Higher placing as possible being the most obvious, but also there's a lot of players in that Forest team who are eyeing up the World Cup.
Yeah, you're spot on. Wanted to take momentum, as you rightfully said, and look as well, I'm sure there's always that thing of, well, maybe I can make an impact at Old Trafford, maybe teams will look at me, maybe Vitor Pereira's thinking, what players do I want next season? You didn't impress me when there's no one on the line. Sometimes that's when managers look and go, well, I wasn't impressed by you. A lot of players can step up when you need to win. It's hard maybe sometimes to get going in this game, so maybe that's a point of view that the Forest boss is looking at. Maguire into the feet of Fernandes. Here come the Red Devils. He might go for goal himself. Plays it to Cunha. Strike is blocked and out for a corner. Fernandes once again. I think Fernandes wanted it back, if anything. There weren't bad runs, but there weren't great runs either from his wide players.
No, not necessarily. Cunha initially went inside, wanted the ball in behind him. Bumo's sort of just hanging off, and Buma might have been the better option, but I think it was a trickier pass to find. Neco Williams has done well to block the shot. I wondered if Cunha would just try and skip away from the defender. But it's a corner ball.
I wonder as well if maybe he was going, well, in Burma, you put that strike over the bar last time I played it too, so Cunha's already gone on the score sheet. I'll see if he can put it in the back of the net. Ball comes in from Fernandes, headed away, nearly fell for Maguire nicely. Played back to Fernandes. Is he going to get there? No, he's not, but it's played out by Dominguez, so he's not happy about that. I can understand why, but out for a throw-in for the Red Devils. Fernandes will come over to take it. Looks like a triple sub is coming up for Nottingham Forest. Awonye and Sangare, definitely two players coming on to the field of play. Maybe Bakwa as well. Wait for full confirmation of those. Throw-in is taken quickly though. Fernandes tries to hook it back into the box. Last off the skipper and out for a goal kick for Forest. We're just halfway through the second half. It's Manchester United 2, Nottingham Forest 1. Forest about to make their triple changes. Waiting to see who's coming on, who's coming off. Omari Hutchinson will be the first player to leave the field. Might even be a formation change. I'm not too sure. I'll have to see. Maybe one of the two forwards are coming off and Gibbs-White goes a bit more central. I think that'd help out a few of them. Dominguez is another player coming off as well. And Chris Wood for Awoniyi. So the realistically sticking with that 2 up top. So Hutchinson, Wood and Dominguez are coming off. They've seen enough minutes. Jesus will see it out as that lone forward, as Awanihi, Sangare, and I do believe Bakwa, the third substitution, is all free. So fresh legs for Forest.
Yeah, Delane Bakwa on for Hutchinson, Awanihi on for Wood, and Sangare on for Dominguez. So all relatively like for like, really. I don't think there's going to be a shape change. Awanihi, I mean, Wood's had a pretty dreadful game. Let's just say it how it is. I'm afraid. So Awanihi's extremely similar profile to Wood in terms of a bit of a target man. Will try and hold it up. Jesus will be the more ball playing forward who seems to be sitting off and maybe just playing as the 10 anyway. You can see already that Bakwa is assuming the right midfield position. Of course, Sangare will be not necessarily a like for like in terms of player profile, but positionally a like for Dominguez. He'll sit deeper and give Anderson that licence to get forward, which they're going to need to do if they're going to get back into this game, Forest.
100%. Just about to hit the 71st minute, well, the 72nd, I should say. 71 minutes on the clock. It's Manchester United 2, Nottingham Forest 1. We're almost at the end of the final game of the season at Old Trafford. The Red Devils lead 2-1, and it's independent off-tube studio commentary of all the action. And take us through to full time. I'll pass you over to Kieran.
Yeah, darting forward now. Bruno Fernandes plays it into the box to Mbumo. Poor touch with his right boot again. That right boot's not been at its best this evening for the Cameroonian. That's a handball against Luke Shaw. Probably less of a handball than the goal, but we'll stop bringing that up. I'm sure it will be discussed at length after this match concludes. So free kick for Milenkovic to take, goes short to Sangare, the Ivorian who's just joined the play. And then Anderson on a bit of pressure. His only option is to go back to his Belgian goalkeeper in Sells. 2 Belgian goalkeepers on the pitch this afternoon. I do believe both have been named in Belgium's preliminary World Cup squad. We'll have to see who will start. Of course, Sells boasts the more experience over Le Mans, who many people don't realise is only 21 years old. 20 years old. In fact, no, Sells hasn't been named in that. Of course, Thibaut Courtois is the starting goalkeeper for Belgium. Mainu on the ball now in the middle of the park. Martinez spreads it over to Cunha. Manchester United are brewing an attack here. 1v1 with Bakwa, beats him into the box, plays it to the edge of the area to Casemiro. Then Mainu with nice feet to try and get into the box, but too many Forest shirts around. Brilliant challenge from Casemiro, who then plays it forward to Cunha towards the byline, lofts it into the box, looking for Mbumo. His header hits the back of Nets, who didn't really know much about it. Nets was trying to get the first contact from the cross. Mbumo, tricky one to get past the defender when he's so close to him, but another opportunity goes begging for him. Now Forest have a chance to get forward. Sangare over to Jesus towards Gibbs White. Gibbs White outside of the football into the box. Nice idea, but straight into the hands of Le Mans.
Yeah, it's a nice idea. Getting back on that left-hand side, Mainu, such tricky feet there. I was wondering if maybe a Forest player to stick out a bit of a lazy leg and bring him down then. That's something to think about, isn't it? Casemiro's caught on the ball there. Burmu, he looks like a player that I think if you had a Sesko on the bench, he'd be coming off. He really looks off the boil now at the moment. I think as well, when you're off the boil and you're missing your chances, it never really helps. Here comes Jesus.
Yeah, Jesus trying to get a shot off, blocked by Martinez. Another corner for Forest.
It will be an opportunity as well, and I know Wood's gone off, as you said, he wasn't having a great game. You're spot on. Dominguez, Sangare coming on for him. That adds height, of course, as well. And when you don't lose height and physicalness in him coming on for Wood. So if anything, you've probably added an extra target with Sangare coming on for Dominguez.
Indeed, another big man to aim for from these crosses. As I mentioned, it probably will be a set piece, as the first goal was. Headed out by Cunha, though, at the near post. Not a great ball in. Ahmad offloads it to Casemiro. Casemiro tries to spread it over to Cunha, who's on the right-hand side, picked up by Gibbs White, who's then striding forward into the attacking third. Awanihi might have a shot. He plays it into Gibbs White. Really nice ball in. That's come off Martinez. He's asking for a goal kick. I think a corner's been given, though. Oh no, Gibbs White now screaming at the referee. Hasn't been given as a goal kick. Let's have a look. It does come off Gibbs White last, quite clearly.
It's one of them where I can understand, though, if I'm honest, a linesman referee, that's a quite hard decision because the ball is in
Double
front
kiss.
of Gibbs White.
Yeah.
You spot on it. So it's great defending from Martinez, but it was a great ball to find Gibbs White at the same time. I thought I thought everyone thought he was going to shoot, and then he played a lovely little ball in. And again, another stat, Brian Mbeumo, since his last Premier League goal, 12 appearances, 882 minutes, 20 shots, but only one on target.
It's
so
dreadful, isn't it?
Off the boil, to say the least.
Yeah, it's dreadful, I'm afraid, from him recently, but still plenty of time in this one if he doesn't get taken off. 15 minutes left of regular time, as we've just ticked past the 75-minute mark. Manchester United 2, Nottingham Forest 1. Cunha striding forward for Manchester United. He's got Bruno Fernandes on the right-hand side, who he does utilise. Might be a low ball in. It is a low ball in towards Mbeumo! Back of the net. That's a Bruno Fernandes assist, unless it came off Amad Diallo first. And that's Manchester United 3, Nottingham Forest 1. And Mbeumo finally gets that goal he's been looking for.
Again, I think that'll be the thing. Does it come off the Ivorian or not? It's a lovely ball in by Fernandes, and you can see Sonny Lamens is even coming up for his own goal to celebrate. Again, look, it means a lot for Fernandes, but it means a lot for Mbeumo as well, doesn't it? It's a massive moment for him. You can see, again, I think a player sometimes, it's one of them as a manager, when a player's in a bit of a rot, what do you do? Do you let them just play it out? Or do you say, look, you just have a few games off, I'm going to take you off now, look, you've had a great season, you're a little bit off the boil, but that's fine, you've been a great signing for us, and we'll move on from that. Whereas, no, Carrick has almost gone, no, you know what, you're going to play it, and he finishes that, and that could have gone wide, and it builds, and it builds, and it builds, and if anything, that's just him trying to poke a ball in the back of the net. It's not a great finish, is it? It's a hard chance, and he just puts it in the back of the net. Our cameras are panning to Fernandes as well, so I can imagine it's an assist for him. What a moment for him, and now that probably wraps it up for the Red Devils.
Yeah, it would have to be a bit of a collapse from Manchester United to let this go. Diallo doesn't get a touch on it, so it will be a Bruno Fernandes assist. That's his 20th of the season. And Mbeumo gets his 10th goal of the season as well. Like I say, he's been looking for it. It must have been his 4th or 5th shot of the game. Just stabs his left boot at it, his stronger left boot. It's a good finish. Gives keeper no chance to say it didn't have much power on it, the effort. Those two linking up once more. And you think there's probably going to be some Manchester United changes now just to rest some players. I might even see Casemiro leave the field, get his standing ovation. As Lewis alluded to, it will be his last goal, or last game, sorry, at Old Trafford. Awoniyi wrestling with Martinez, certainly a physical mismatch on that occasion, but couldn't keep the ball at his feet. Maguire stepped in to tackle. Fernandes has the ball on the halfway line, looks to spread it all the way over to Cunha on the left-hand side into the box. Really good ball, really well taken by the Brazilian, who skips away from one, skips away from two, tries to get a shot off, blocked. There's still pressure on, it has to be cleared out. And it will be. Good work from Igor Jesus to shrug off, I believe, Casemiro it might have been. Then backward, Casemiro goes for a challenge. I think it's going to be an advantage. The referee might come back to that though. Gibbs White goes back to Sangare. Sangare over to Elliot Anderson in a good crossing position on the right hand side, just ahead of the box, crosses it in, Gibbs White into the back of the net. 3-2. It's the second quick reply of the match. Manchester United 3, Nottingham Forest 2, and we might have a game on our hands.
Fernandes is furious. He thinks he's fouled by Jesus.
Yeah.
I think it's very, very soft, and you'd almost say is when they look at sequences of play and patterns, is it already gone? Another lovely ball in by Anderson. It's not an easy strike from Gibbs White at all, but Anderson at the heart of it with a lovely ball, and Gibbs White, Lamens, he's committed to his left hand side, and it's again, it's passed home but poked at the same time with Gibbs White. Beautiful finish from him. He's been on fire since Vitor Pereira came in. I think he's been one of the top scorers in the Premier League, if not the top scorer in the league. And as you rightfully said, once a team's gone ahead, apart from when United went 1-0 up, it was 1-1, quick goal, a 1,000th goal this season as well. What a moment for Gibbs White as a whole in the Premier League, not his 1,000th goal. But 1-1, United went and scored straight away. United go 3-1 up. Forest come back, so to say there's not a lot of line in this game, my word, is it interesting.
Yeah, it's Elliot Anderson's second assist of the game as well. Bruno Fernandes isn't very happy, but I think he was too weak in that challenge. That came in from Igor Jesus. Confirmation that it is his 20th assist, and as predicted, the Manchester United reinforcements do now come on. Carrick might have thought twice now Forest have scored. Like I say, the reinforcements that would have come on would have just been to rest those attacking players and allow some other players, fringe players or players coming back from injury like Dorgu and Mount, to get some minutes. Cunha and Mbeumo are going to come off. And I assume it's probably going to be Casemiro as well for Mason Mount. He's going to get his moment, the Brazilian. Fantastic 3 seasons he's had with Manchester United. This one arguably is best, certainly from an attacking point of view, and the contributions to the team. It is a standing ovation from the 75,000 fans in Old Trafford. A few Brazilian flags, plenty of scarves and t-shirts boasting his name. It's an emotional one for him, that's for sure. Like I say, a wonderful 3 years with Manchester United, racked up 9 goals in this campaign. Like I say, certainly his best from an attacking point of view, and he's taking his time with it, that's for sure. I think the referee understands, but there wasn't really any momentum in the game. In fact, I don't think that the game's actually kicked off since the goal either.
I think as well he got a yellow card with his last. I think a card's been given apparently. So
has it?
Yeah, that's what social media and our live tracking score up to saying. So his last bit of play as United player was to pick up a yellow card. It was the advantage that was given, and Casemiro, as far as apparently I've been looking at some information, he's been given a yellow card. So. That's apparently it. So that's officially the card of the game as well. A little bit shocking, to be quite honest. You just see a lot of cards in these games, don't we? But you spot on. When his first season at United, he was instrumental, scoring in the EFL Cup win in the final. He scored against Forest in the last win for United in the 1-0 win at the City Ground. So I'm sure he'd love a goal. I'd love the goal this afternoon, but he gets that round of applause. It's one of them to me where I think he could probably play at United for another 2 or 3 seasons and maybe slowly drop out. But he's going out almost as the top dog, isn't he? And some people like that. Some people like to play until the wheels fall off. And again, you get your standing ovation. I'll be interested to see Dorgu on the left-hand side. He was great in the first 2 games under Carrick, picked up that hamstring injury, so he's got a chance to prove himself in the latter stages here. But with that Forest goal, I think we're still in for a good ending here.
Yeah, 8.5 minutes left of regular time. We're certainly going to get at least 5 added on. Excuse me, for a couple VAR checks. The Casemiro substitution as well. He did pick up a yellow card for a late challenge on Bakwa, which was rightfully deserved. So confirmation of those 3 Manchester United changes. Patrick Dorgu's come on for Cunha on the left, and Brian Mbumo has come off for Joshua Zirkzee up front, and Mason Mount has come on for Casemiro in the middle of the park as well. Again, 3 like-for-like changes, as Lewis alluded to. Since Carrick's come in, Dorgu has been utilised as an attacking outlet. Now getting forward again, Bruno Fernandes all the way to the edge of the box. He takes a shot, deflected. Anderson will sweep up. Elliot Anderson, who's having a terrific game, really controls that midfield so well. 2 assists as well for him in this one. 2 smart assists as well. The first ball for Morato's goal was terrific, and that one straight into the feet of Gibbs White. Still had a lot to do, did the Forest number 10. Here he is again, spreading the ball over towards the left hand side for Nets, who's got a 1 year as a target in the box, who was asking for it. Gibbs White to Bakwa, who's relatively central forward to Awoniyi, who just goes back to Sangare. Sangare spreads it over to Bakwa, who leaves it for Neco Williams. Crossing opportunity, crosses it low towards the edge of the box. Mainoo's first to it, then Mount can get it away to Zirkzee, who spreads it over to Fernandes. Not many Man United players in this attack, but Fernandes is going to get it back from Zirkzee, albeit much wider than he would have wanted. Manchester United do have the goal advantage, of course. Spread it towards Dorgu in the box by Bruno Fernandes, straight at the goalkeeper. Simple save for Sells. The ball's just rolling away towards the corner flag. A couple of Forest players down in the box, but they're back to their feet, not interested. That's surely a foul from Elliot Anderson, not given though, so it'll be a goal kick.
Well, you have to say as well, Fernandes, he's equalled the assist tally. He'll want to break it, of course. No, we've got another game. That's a beautiful ball to Dorgu.
What a ball.
And what I will say is credit to Neco Williams. He gets back, goes in to put Dorgu under a bit of pressure, so it's not the great... It's an alright first touch from Dorgu. It was a beautiful ball from Fernandes. I think if Williams isn't there, you can hear that man-on shout. You can probably hear, if Dorgu probably can hear Williams breathing down his neck almost. There is a pause in play. I'm not quite sure. Oh, sorry, Nottingham Forest are making a double change. That's why. But as I say, if Fernandes has equalled the assist record, he'd love to break it this afternoon.
Yeah, Igor Jesus is going to make way, as is Nets, the left back for Forest. Luca Nets, who hasn't had a terrific game. Not the first choice. Jacques Cunha has come on. Just missed that second one. I think it was James McAtee, the number 24. We'll just get confirmation of those 2 substitutions for you very shortly. So yeah, Luca Nets and Igor Jesus off. James McAtee and Jacques Cunha on. So McAtee will play in midfield you'd think. It's not obvious how that changes the shape. Maybe a back 3/5 for Forest. Throwing on the right hand side. Fernandez is incensed it's not gone his way. He might be earning himself a yellow card the way he's reacting here to the assistant referee. And the referee, he's going to have a word. I think he's saying, I know you're captain, but it doesn't mean you can scream and shout like that. Not like him, of course. So yeah, J. Cunha on for Forest. I'll see how that changes things. He's a defender, so that might be a like-for-like change. A central defender by trade, by the looks of it. None of those three, him, Morato and Milenkovic, scream a full-back to me. So it might be a back 5 with Bakwa and you'd think Neco Williams. Bakwa would be a right wing back. Neco Williams a left wing back. We'll keep an eye on their shape and see how it has changed things. Well, Cunha I can see straight away is definitely playing as a defender. Not obvious if it's central or not. Bakwa's still on the right. I think it is a back 3 unless Cunha's playing as the right back. Sangare slips, intercepted by Mount, albeit inside the Manchester United half. Xerxes brings it into the Forest half. Diallo on the right hand side, who we've not mentioned for a short while. Fernandez back into Xerxes, who slips as he takes it. You see the frustration on Bruno Fernandez's face. I mean, they need this game done and dusted, really. It's not by no means won yet. It has been a terrific second half. 4 goals. Ball through from Gibbs-White to Awoniyi, takes a touch, which sees Maguire bring it away. Now spreads it over to Dorgu, who asks a lot of the Dane, who can't keep it in, so that'll be a throw-in for Forest.
Again, I thought that was a good idea from Gibbs-White. Delors gets a block on it, doesn't he? So might have even gone through to Awoniyi, but you're right, with just over 3.5 minutes left of the 90, then we might be in for a good amount of stoppage time with the VAR review, with the goals and the subs. You might get a good 6 minutes here, and I think Forest will push for that, so you're right. United will want to get a fourth to finally maybe see off Forest in this game this afternoon. They've just kept going, haven't they, Forest? And actually, I think Anderson and Gibbs-White have had an excellent game. Here comes Bakwa.
Yeah, Bakwa trying to get past Shaw. He beat Dorgu impressively. Tries to get a cross in, but the English left back's left leg gets in the way. Bakwa trying to hand it off to someone else, I think, but he's been told just to get it in. Looks like it's going to be at least a medium range throw. Yeah, it is. He goes into the box looking for the long throw. Mainu heads away. It's only going to be collected by Sangare, though. There's an opportunity now to get Forest back going forward. Gibbs-White over to Bakwa. Bakwa with a left-footed cross in straight into the hands of Lamens, I should say. He could have left it to go out for a goal kick. He obviously wasn't to know. Camera pans to Vito Pereira. It'll be his first defeat in 8 matches. Forest were 8 unbeaten in the Premier League, which is terrific record, really. And it looks like the tide of this fixture might change as well. Awoniyi to the edge of the area, though, might want to change the outcome of this match. Keep up that unbeaten run. Backward into the box now, up against Dorgu. Thinks about the left-footed shot, but goes back to J. Cunha, who plays a nice ball into Gibbs-White. Great feet from Gibbs-White. Gets the shot off, blocked by Martinez. Elliot Anderson now from deep, looking for a hat-trick of assists. Ball towards the back post. Header comes back across for Awoniyi. Good work from Neco Williams, who is now assumed his more regular left-back position. Elliot Anderson on the edge of the area turns nicely. Morato, of all people, is making a run into the box for him. Maybe a counter-attack for Manchester United. Bruno Fernandes, lovely ball forward to Diallo. Looks to be onside. I think he was in his own half. 1v1 with Milenkovic. Plays it over to Xerxes. Brilliant challenge from Sangare. Xerxes is going to keep it in, as it would have been a goal kick. He does so. Plays it back to Bruno Fernandes on the edge of the area, who goes for a shot. Certainly not his best. He hasn't had his shooting boots this afternoon, sorry. That's for sure. Brilliant ball forward for Diallo, though.
I'm sure as well, Fernandes was thinking, don't pass. You could assist me here. But you're right about his shooting, man. I think Fernandes has been a little bit off the boil. I think United as a team haven't really looked that impressive. I think Forest have actually been quite impressive, if I'm being honest. Luke Shaw scored a great goal. That United responded brilliantly after being pegged back 1 apiece. Cunha scored a great goal. The third one, a ball fizzed in Birmingham, poked it home. Apart from those, United, you couldn't say, have really created a lot of chances. I think Forest maybe been the better team, but defensively just haven't been at the best this afternoon, and that's something I think Vitor Pereira will look to improve upon. And they're coming forward here. You won't rule out a 3-3 draw here.
Amad Diallo looking to close down Neco Williams. 40 seconds left in the 90. We're certainly going to have another 5 minutes to play at least. Manchester United 3, Nottingham Forest 2. As Lewis said, you wouldn't rule out a 3-3. You certainly wouldn't rule out another goal. As Manchester United look dangerous as they look to counter-attack. For the most part, it's 11 men behind the ball. Bruno Fernandes is the highest player up for them. I think the idea is that the 3 substitutes, or at least 2 of them in Dorgu and Xerxes, will be the runners when they win back possession. Nice interplay between Gibbs-White and backward. Gibbs-White drifting over towards the left-hand side. Neco Williams 1v1 with Dallow, gets a ball into the box. It's not a bad one. Shaw heads upwards, not away. Dorgu tries to help it on its way, only to the feet of Anderson, 25 yards out. He's skipped away from a couple of players, plays a neat ball into the box. Milenkovic, of all people, collects and then went down. Xerxes, Amad Diallo, who's running as if he's just come onto the pitch, but he has been on for 90 minutes, 8 minutes of added time. Manchester United on a counter-attack. It's a 4v4. Bruno Fernandes running forward. He's got Diallo to the outside of him, who tries to use, but it's going to go out for a goal kick.
He rolls it, doesn't he? Ball rolls it, then he tries to hit it with the outside of his right boot. Diallo might have been offside by the time he took that extra. If he was offside, he looks it. But again, it was just. I think Fernandes was almost thinking, Amad, just hold your run. It's going to go to you, just hold the run, hold the run, hold the run.
I don't think.
No, I think you're right. I think, again, he's probably thinking, I know I want that extra assist, but I ain't scored today, and I've been pretty poor in front of goal. I'd like to score, and I think, as you said, he was waiting for the defence, but the defenders did well to almost not give him any options.
Ball towards Neco Williams on the left-hand side, did well to keep it in. Anderson, 30 yards out, getting forward. Ball into the box, might be a chance for McAtee, plays it to a 1U, takes his shot. It's going to go beyond everyone. Wasn't a good finish at all from a 1U. Perhaps 15 yards out, just behind the penalty spot. Yeah, I mean, it's a good challenge coming in, or a sliding block coming in from Mainu. He did get it underneath him. Mainu, incidentally, catches Martinez on the knee. Horrible tackle, really, from Mainu on his own man. Martinez seems to be okay, though. So it'll be a goal kick for Manchester United. Lamon's taking his sweet time with it. There is still 6 minutes left. And when 8 minutes are added, it might tick on towards 10, depending on stoppages that occur in the last few stages. But as it stands, Manchester United 3-2 up against Nottingham Forest. Of course, you've been listening to unofficial off-tube studio-based commentary. 6 minutes left to play of the added 8. Backward tries to get the ball forward to Gibbs-White, intercepted, but alas, there was a foul on Forest substitute, and there is going to be a yellow card actually at the moment as well. Just referee couldn't quite get Luke Shaw's attention, but Shaw, who scored the first goal of the game, has picked up a yellow card. Yeah, it's just a late one on Backward. Bit silly from Shaw, lazy, which I think a lot of people would argue is his forte. 9th yellow card of the season from Luke Shaw. Not ideal at all for him. Long ball over into the box, then straight into the box for Forest. Maguire heads away, only to the feet of Sangare, who allows the ball to come back. Anderson now, he plays a nice ball down the line, but that's intercepted by Dorgu. And infield to Mount, who finds Bruno Fernandes, who smartly lays it off for Xerxes. Good challenge in from McAtee, which means the Dutchman couldn't find Bruno Fernandes, who was making a run in behind. Manchester United still have 2 substitutions to make. I think they'll make them just to slow the clock down, at least. Perhaps Ugarte or Mazraoui to come on just to shore things up. Was Dorgu fouled there by Anderson? I think he was, and the referee might be getting his yellow card out again. He is indeed. So it's going to be Anderson, who's had a great game, picking up 2 assists, but it will also be a yellow card for the England midfielder, who I think has shown another brilliant 90-minute display and another reason as to why he should start in America.
100%. I mean, that's his 8th yellow card of the season as well. Shaw with 9, Casemiro with 9, Anderson with 8. A lot of likely yellow carders there. I think as well, I'm not saying he wants to leave Forest, I won't say that, but again, as you said, he's been rumoured for Old Trafford at the Etihad, where he's put himself about today. He's been one of the best, if not the best player on the field.
Bruno Fernandes with the ball into the box, headed away though by João Cunha. Shot comes in from Mount. He's claiming corner ball, not given. He struck it well. A lot of power from the English midfielder, but drifted wide. Like I say, he thinks there was a touch. It was a smart header down from Mainu. I don't think there was a touch off anyone, and if there was, it was most likely Joshua Xerxes. Yeah, just wide of that right-hand post of Sells' goal. I don't think he'd have got to it. Amad Diallo now on the right wing. He's been unleashed. And Manchester United have another 4v4 situation. Can he pick the right pass? Looking for Dorgu. Really good interception. Sort of poked it, Amad Diallo. So it didn't have a terrific amount of power. Mainu has it after a poor header away from Morato. Mount turns away from the defender really well. Advantage play. Dorgu's in space on the edge of the area. What can he do? Tries to feed it into Joshua Zirkzee in the box, who always tries to move the ball neatly with his feet, and he did do, but maybe too many touches from the Man United forward.
Yeah, I think that's great. I mean, first of all, Mount, that was a lovely piece of play down the right hand side. I think Zirkzee, to me, he shows so much quality whenever he plays. But when you don't get the minutes in your legs, he just looks very rusty for me. But here come Forest with Backward.
Yeah, Morgan Gibbs-White now, 20 yards out. McAtee, just a little bit of space for Backward, perhaps to cross. Wants it on that favoured left foot, blocked by Martez, who's going to try and prevent it from going out for a corner, and does so. Launches it into the stand towards where the Nottingham Forest fans are as well. Played 5.5 minutes of the 8. Not really been any stoppages in the added time either, so I think once 8 are played, that'll be that if it continues the same way. Mainu first to that throw in from Backward. Dorgu's going to try and bring the ball forward for Manchester United, but well tackled by James McAtee, who thinks about a shot, perhaps. Brilliant challenge from Martinez, and now Zirkzee's unleashed. Bruno Fernandes, Amad Diallo with him. It's a 2v2 for Manchester United. Can Bruno Fernandes pick out a good pass this time? He tries to skip away, taken by Dallo, who takes a shot low off the post, and it would have been a Bruno Fernandes assist as well. Not that he would have meant it by any means. Dallo hits the post. What a finish to the game that would have been. If Bruno Fernandes had have got that 21st assist, and Dallo, an unlikely goal scorer, especially with his left boot. I think he does the right thing to take it away from Fernandes. No complaints from him. Diallo would have been offside had he tried to play it across the 6-yard box to him, but Fernandes, I think he should have played it to Diallo, shouldn't he?
He should have. And that's probably the second or third time now it's happened, hasn't it? And again, you pointed out when he did it earlier, he just isn't making his mind up quick enough. No. I think he's thinking, shot, pass. He needs to just, you know what, I'm going to pass it to Diallo, I'm going to take 2 more touches, then the pass is going to go. Because I think Diallo's almost thinking, I can't make my run because I don't know if you're going to pass it to me or go for a shot.
Sangare does well against Dorgu to take the ball off the Danish wide man. Just over a minute left of the 8. Manchester United thought about building another attack there. They had 4 men almost in line with the Forest defence in Diallo, Zirkzee, Fernandes, who was hanging out on the right wing, who seems a little tired. Does the Manchester United captain, plays pretty much every minute of every game of every season. Another brilliant interception from Mainu, who's just done the basics really well in that midfield for Manchester United. Cut out so many Forest passes. Ball in behind looking for Diallo. It's overhit into the hands of Sells. 40 seconds left of the 8 minutes that have been added. Forest want this equaliser, to say the least. Ball forward. Maguire's going to win that header. Mount's going to try and get to the second ball. He does, but he's being wrestled by a Wonyi, certainly the stronger man. He's done really well to skip away from the Neco Williams challenge. Bruno Fernandes now, he's got options in the box. What's he going to do? Joshua Zirkzee on the edge of the box, shot blocked, and then his second shot comes in. What a save from Matt Sells. The first effort from Zirkzee was blocked by a defender in the 6-yard box. It came straight back to Zirkzee, who took another shot. Didn't have a great deal of power, but Sells does so well after being down on the ground to make that save and get up for it. I mean, it was relatively straight at him, but he did have to move his body over to the other side. A terrific save. Zirkzee denied his goal. We have now played 98 minutes of football. The 8 minutes of added time have been given. Bruno Fernandes is going to go over to take this corner. The referee, it wouldn't be outrageous for him just to blow up, seeing as a Manchester United corner isn't really going to affect the result of the game. So it looks like Forest's 8-match unbeaten run in the Premier League is going to end. Fernandes wants this assist. You'd think if it goes up the field for Forest, it will be blown for full time. Sells punches away. Amad Diallo's going to close down Anderson, who tries to launch it upfield. It's gone out for a Forest throw. I think Luke Shaw is just asking the referee for the full time whistle, which he hasn't blown. His whistle's in his mouth, and he has now blown for full time. So it's finished at Old Trafford. A terrific second half. Quick replies from both teams after conceding. Firstly from Manchester United after an equaliser, after a brilliant ball from Elliot Anderson for Morato to score. Quick reply, controversial goal as Brian Mbumo handled the ball. 2 more goals from Gibbs White. And then, of course, that Bruno Fernandes assist for Brian Mbumo. But it has finished at Old Trafford. Manchester United 3, Nottingham Forest 2.
Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on... Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting market, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck. Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting market, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck. Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting market, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck. Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting market, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck. Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting market, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck. Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting market, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck. Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting market, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck. Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting market, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck. Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting,